It is 5 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast along with a traffic report here momentarily. Initial figures from the Bureau of Economic Analysis have gross domestic product rising at an annual rate of 4.3%, well above what analysts expected. Consumer spending was behind much of the increase, along with government spending and exports of U.S. goods. Here's ABC's Selena Wang with more.
The polls show that many Americans do not feel like the economy is in a good place. You know, economists say, look, there's a sentiment that people feel like if they're working, it's really just going towards paying higher prices, but it's not like they feel like they're getting ahead. You know, one economist we spoke to said, look, there's this feeling that people are spending more, not because they want to, but because everything costs more. And so it's being described as a very unequal economy where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And for a lot of people, the sentiment is still in the dumps.
We turn now to the nation's weather. Wintry weather could challenge holiday travel for many across the country. Here's ABC's meteorologist Kenton Jawecki with the latest.
On Christmas Day, this rain from the West Coast is going to move inland a little bit, so it'll go into places like Nevada, or Las Vegas is going to be getting some of this rain, by the way. Otherwise, the travel isn't the issue. It's really that if you want a white Christmas, you're probably not getting one unless you're in parts of the Mountain West or you're in parts of northern New England that just got some of the snow. You're in record high temperatures. Places like Kansas City, like Rapid City, South Dakota, like Atlanta, Dallas has the chance to see record high temperatures.
Back here in Nashville, the owners of Dalt's Restaurant revealed on Monday that they were permanently shutting the restaurant down on White Bridge Pike. The reason for the decision to close was not announced. But then, two brothers from here in Music City who own Strategic Hospitality, Benjamin and Max Goldberg, they announced yesterday that they would be reopening a new and revamped Dalt's. Here's Channel 4's Tracy Cornett with more.
Dalt's is going to make a comeback after the restaurant announced they were closing their West Nashville location yesterday. Strategic Hospitality is now taking over. They are looking to reimagine the restaurant. That group, the hospitality group, acquired the Dalt's brand and concept from previous owners. They own a bunch of bars downtown, all the main ones, including Garth Brooks and that whole thing. So those owners said that they are closed, or they did close, the Dalt's owners, because they never fully recovered from the pandemic. So the new owners are behind multiple popular restaurants here in our city. No word on when Dalt's will reopen.
Strategic Hospitality says that they've worked out a new long-term lease with the property owners. The Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. You can find them online at beaconcm.com. We look now at the futures before the opening bell. The Dow down 29, the S&P down 4 3/4, and the NASDAQ down 21. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. Our first look at your Christmas Eve morning traffic. All systems are go. No traffic problems this morning in Metro Nashville. Also, keep in mind that there are no lane closures, at least added lane closures for road work unless there's an emergency all the way from today through January 2nd. So let's hope that that will stay like that, right? We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.506, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends, and welcome on in to a Christmas. Why are we here? Like, there's not a person in this building, Jay Harper. Sam Rutherford.
We're it.
I thought this was the day for, like, you know, part-timers and whatever. Well, you're here, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Joan, apparently the big star of the show. She didn't have to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but here we are, Sam.
Here we are, the worker bees.
That's exactly right. Actually, you know what? Joan is going to be filling in for Chris Hand at 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, good for her.
So, and I already know that Joan has a banger topic. You know how I know that? Because I sent it to her.
Oh.
That's how I know she's got a banger topic this morning.
You're feeding her establishment talking points there, Dan?
Just, Joan is far from establishment. Boy, oh boy. No. You know what? She'll slash your tires. I don't even have to, you know, she always says that, but I'll say it for her. She'll slash your tires, and she knows what you drive. All right. I guess that's it. Fine. All right, good. Anyway, so here we are. It is Christmas Eve morning, and very much appreciate, Jay, you coming in. And Sam, of course, is here as well. And I am here, too. All right. So very quickly, I've got a lot of content. Had a big conversation with myself hosting Red Eye Radio. You know, one of the things that I've noticed, and Jay, I know that you probably have an opinion on this. As Sam, you may have an opinion on this.
All right.
There's two ways to do a Christmas Eve morning show. I can either fluff out and play a bunch of Christmas music, or I can do content. Now, this is always a conversation in talk radio, just little peek behind the curtain, where some people will say, oh, well, it's Christmas morning or it's Christmas week. You shouldn't do content on Christmas week or whatever. You know, you got to fluff out. And I'm like, no, people come to talk radio for content. And when I say content, I mean like stuff that we always do. If you want to hear fluff, you go to the fluffy stations.
Yes.
But we're not going to do fluff on the morning show. Listen to other hosts, if they want to do fluff, knock themselves out. But I'm not going to do fluff.
That's right. There's nothing fluffy about you, Dan.
That's exactly right, Jay. Thank you.
Courtesy of Contours.
So I'm going to do content like I always do. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas. And we'll do the last day of our, you know, we pick the Christmas music. And so I've already got mine. Jay, I don't know if you've chosen yours.
I have one. I've not passed it on to Sam, however,
right,
but I do have one in mind.
All right, pass it along to Sam. Mm-hmm. And again, this will be mercifully the last day that we do this, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's gotten a little long in the tooth. No offense to anybody, but good Lord, man. All right, so we've got a lot going on. Let's get right to it. Hunter Biden. By the way, Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. So yesterday and last night, we played some Hunter Biden audio from this big, long interview with Sean Ryan. And you know what? I want to, at some point, I got to listen to the whole thing, because it's like 5.5 hours. And so I'm genuinely curious how much pushback Sean, who I like Sean Ryan. He is awesome. He's got Scoreboard, got one of the biggest podcasts in the podcasting world. I do wonder how much pushback, though, he gave Hunter Biden on some of this stuff. For example, Hunter said, well, if Donald Trump, doesn't want to get shot at, he should stop acting like a fascist. That's what Hunter Biden said. I got the audio. This is audio only because I just pulled this, and there are some dirty words in there that I could not edit out because we don't have video editing systems here at work, so I had to play just the audio. Here is how that conversation went. Hunter Biden and Sean Ryan.
You have a political party that's continuously saying you're a Nazi, a fascist, Nazi, fascist, Nazi. He's like Hitler, you know what I mean? And then you got
This is Sean Ryan.
Assassination attempts all over the country, and it's
I know, but
it's like
Sean,
I said at the beginning.
Look, I don't want to get into like the argument over and I really mean it, but like I hear you, I hear what you're saying,
but he is totally okay with people taking shots at Donald Trump if he's acting like a fascist.
But part of me also says you don't want to be called a fascist. Don't act like a fascist.
There it is.
And what I mean by fascism is this: is deputizing a largest federal police force in history to go on America's streets masked without warrants and drag pregnant women out of their cars in the snow and kneel on their backs.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I don't know if that's happened where pregnant women were hauled out of a car and made to lay on their backs. I seem to recall there was a pregnant woman that tried to run over ICE agents. I don't know if that's the one, but here's the thing, is that when Donald Trump was, the assassination attempt happened on Donald Trump, he hadn't done that yet, Hunter. And the bottom line is there is absolutely no excuse for anyone to try to assassinate an American president or an American presidential candidate. There's absolutely none. I think that your dad, Joe Biden, was the absolute worst president in the history of bad presidents. I don't believe that he deserved to be assassinated. Not in any way, shape, or form. So that's the difference between conservatives and the ilk that is Hunter Biden, is that they will justify violence. I mean, this is really, if you think about it, this is the left, right? This is the left, and this is how the left will justify violence. Well, if he's going to send, mass agents into the streets of America, if you're going to act like a fascist, well then, okay, but here's the deal. That, again, does not justify what happened to Donald Trump not once but twice.
And it's par for the course out of the communist playbook. There's a clip that circulated the web for a while where they intercepted a message from world communist groups. It goes like this.
Label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi.
Talking about when they get in the way, they try to enact actual rule of law, and they don't want you to have a communist takeover.
Well, you remember Nancy Pelosi, right? In that famous, I don't know, it wasn't a speech, but she was in front of reporters. And basically what she said was, yeah, you know what? You label your opponent, then, and I'm going to paraphrase, you label your opponent, and then the media will continue to perpetuate that lie about your opponent. And then the people believe that what you say about your opponent is true. And that's how you assassinate someone's character. And that leads to an assassination. Now, did you see anything about a pregnant woman being hauled out of a car and made to lay on her back or whatever?
No. Just like I didn't see a child arrested by ICE and put in handcuffs either.
Oh. Yeah, you see, this is what they do. Again, hey, Jay, is anything going on in traffic?
No, Dan. I mean, it's just wide open at the moment. So keep on.
Thank you, Jay. Very inspiring. Thank you. Here's more from the brain trust that is Hunter Biden, and I'm not talking about Sean Ryan. I like Sean Ryan, but listen to this:
of sending people to prisons, death camps, in El Salvador with no due process.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, in El Salvador, those aren't death camps. Otherwise, all those MS-13 gang members would be dead. But they're not dead. So that's number one. Number two, these are gang members from Venezuela. So, Hunter Biden, I don't know. I don't know what, again, and I've said this 1,000 times now. I don't exactly know what it is that he's trying to accomplish with this interview with Sean Ryan. But, I mean, to me, I think Sean is letting him talk. And that's all fine, well, and good, because the more that Hunter talks, the more he makes himself sound, in my opinion, like a moron. And so this is really not surprising. And anytime, and I don't know if they got into the conversation of Charlie Kirk, I would be very interested to know what Hunter Biden would have to say about the assassination of Charlie Kirk if he justified the assassination attempts on Donald Trump. Then it wouldn't surprise me if he had, something snarky to say about Charlie Kirk. Or maybe he surprised me and he said, no, Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie was horrible. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think I ought to spend my Christmas day tomorrow watching Hunter Biden and Sean Ryan? Is that really what I want to do?
I don't think so. Save that for the weekend because, you're going to need multiple intermissions. You're going to need coffee breaks. Just tolerance breaks of listening to his shrill little voice.
Mm-hmm. His shrill little voice. Yeah, you know what? You are right. By the way, we are on YouTube this morning. If you want to watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, Rumble, 997WTN.com. If you want to watch us on video. Feel free, video streaming. Also, we are streaming everywhere on the WTN app and so forth. All right, so there's another soundbite of Hunter Biden, and I want to play it. This is Hunter, and he said something really bizarre that I don't really even understand. Where he said that the laptop from hell, did not exist. I don't remember if I played this yesterday during the morning show. I know that I played it on the overnight show, but people come and go. So this is Hunter, and he is trying to say that the laptop from hell, the one that Chuck Grassley has investigated, the FBI has investigated as well. Hunter says that laptop doesn't exist.
So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit.
Okay, now, here's the thing that I don't understand, and I'm gonna rewind it and play it again. In the first 15 seconds, he says the laptop did not exist. Then he'll come back and he'll say the laptop does exist.
So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit. What was provided out there, there
was no laptop.
There is an actual physical laptop.
So, did you hear that? So, he says there's no laptop, and then Sean Ryan says there's no laptop, and then he says, well, there's a physical laptop. Maybe it's all the drugs and the hookers. Do you think that's what it is with Hunter Biden, that he's so scattered?
That somebody had. But the guy that said he had the laptop, the existence of the search for the laptop came before he was even a twinkle in Rudy Giuliani's eye.
All righty, so remember the story. Hunter Biden leaves the laptop at the repair shop for months, right? So the owner reads the data, believes it to be incriminating, realizes it's Hunter Biden's, realizes that it is incriminating, gives the laptop to the FBI, and he also shared the laptop with Rudy Giuliani. But what Hunter is saying is that it was all of these other figures that are out there in, people in Ukraine, and what they did was they cobbled together all of these old emails and all of this old data to create something incriminating. That's what he says. That's what Hunter Biden says.
Saving pictures of yourself doing crack cocaine with hookers is not forces conspiring against you. It's poor file management.
Well, it's poor life management, man. I mean, but true. Poor file management as well, I suppose.
And so what they did is they cobbled together stolen, concocted, fabricated mishmash of digital information, largely which is, thousands and thousands and thousands of emails from 25 years. I mean, no laptop could have held all of that. And so what they did is they put it all together, and then they talk about it, and they made it out to be this thing. And so then the story doesn't become about the laptop at all. Because
do you know what he sounds like? He sounds like, I've been around drug addicts. I come from a long line of alcoholics, right? I've told you that story. So he sounds like somebody who doesn't want to take accountability or responsibility for the things that they have done. And oftentimes when you are around addicts, they do this kind of thing where they'll just come up with, excuses, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And that's what they do. Not wanting to take accountability and trying to explain all the terrible things that have happened to them. So now somehow Hunter Biden is an innocent victim in all of this? Is that what he's trying to sell? Because I don't know if this is a reputation reclamation project that Hunter Biden is attempting, but it's not working.
There's nothing in the laptop other than a record of me being a degenerate.
So there you go. That is Hunter Biden. Yes, that was him clearly being a degenerate. But, here's the thing that I would say is that you have sources from within the FBI and Chuck Grassley, who, through his role in the Senate, looked at the contents of the laptop, and they found all kinds of evidence of shady business dealings and influence peddling. So I don't know who he's trying to kid. I don't know if Sean Ryan was convinced. I'm sure as heck not convinced. Anybody who knows Hunter Biden more than likely is not convinced, except probably Joe. But as I said yesterday, and I don't want to repeat yesterday's topic, but I think that it's convenient and for Hunter Biden to be like, yeah, my dad screwed this up. My dad screwed this up, kind of throwing his dad under the bus when for 4 years he could have influenced his father to be a better president, but he chose not to. That's what Hunter Biden did. And so he's got a father now who has no relevance. He's got a father who has no influence that he can peddle. So now he's trying to go somehow in a different direction as he's trying to hawk a book. And again, he said yesterday, I played you the audio, $15 million in debt? Boo flippin' who? I wonder if we should all, just start a GoFundMe for Hunter Biden.
Not in my household, not in my neighborhood.
Didn't he had like a car that was like a $200,000 car, and he was living in a house that was like $20,000 a month. Remember that whole thing? So I don't know, man. It's hard for me to feel sorry for Hunter Biden. You dug your hole. Now you get to live in it. It is 5:24. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. You know what I need to do? Jay, can you remind me that whenever I throw down like some talk radio show host thunder, I got to then, come back with Merry Christmas. All right. It's 5:24, and Jay, what's coming up in the news?
Yeah, Dan, sad news out of Pennsylvania. A deadly explosion there. Also, we'll have this morning's money news. That's all coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Is this what we're going to do all day?
You know it.
Jay,
Yes, sir.
this is what we're going to have to listen to all day because one of the three of us is in a Christmas kind of mood.
And
Sam,
let me guess. Yeah, it's not you.
I'm in a Christmassy kind of mood.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just, you know what, trying to bring the content while at the same time acknowledging that it is Christmas Eve morning.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And you look like Tiny Tim survived the surgery and grew up to be a big, strong man.
I'm going to be honest. So this is where we're going to get dumb. I did something really dumb last night. Really, really dumb. Right before Red Eye. How I got through that broadcast, I don't know. I'm going to talk about that coming up next. Also, Jay, we're going to ask Jay Harper and Sam, and I'll partake in the conversation as well, just briefly, what we want for Christmas and what our little Christmas traditions are. Because Sam actually has a very cute one, and so we're going to talk about that. And we're going to bring the talk show thunder as well. All of that straight ahead. Thunder on Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
It's 31 minutes past 5 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A weather forecast, which is kind of warm, and also a traffic report are coming up. An explosion at a nursing home outside Philadelphia. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah with details.
Questions after a deadly blast leveled part of a nursing home near Philadelphia.
It was definitely heard like a dynamite explosion.
Officials say firefighters were investigating reports of a gas leak at Silver Lake Nursing Home when the blast occurred.
We believe preliminarily that it was a gas leak that led to that. The explosion was really quite catastrophic.
Emergency crews rushing to the scene, rushing to evacuate the 120 residents and staff as black smoke filled the sky.
We now turn to the market numbers report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. They're online at beaconcm.com. With this morning's money news, here's Jim Ryan.
Positive news on the economy helped to push stocks higher on Tuesday. The Dow Jones gained about 80 points to land at 48,422. The S&P and Nasdaq Composite each picked up about 0.5% on the day. Shares in Nike rose 2% in pre-market trading after Apple CEO Tim Cook bought nearly $3 million in the sportswear maker stock. Nike this week reported a weaker than expected quarter because of sluggish sales in China. With the Standard & Poor's posting another record high close Tuesday, investors are hoping for a so-called Santa Claus rally. That's what happens when the index scores advances in the final 5 trading days of the current year and the first 2 days of the coming year. 3 days after a widespread power outage left Waymo driverless taxis blocking traffic in San Francisco, the Alphabet-owned company is sending out updates to its fleet of 2,500 vehicles. The cars froze up when Bay Area traffic lights went dark.
Let's take a look at the stock futures before the opening bell. The Dow down 29, the S&P down 4 3/4, and the Nasdaq down 21 1/4. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. We are looking nice and smooth in the metro area traffic-wise. No accidents, no breakdowns, no backups, and some good news in terms of construction. No added lane closures for road work unless there's an emergency, and it'll be that way through January 2nd. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Jay. 537, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so for the last time in the 5 o'clock hour, this is because, Jay, just so you know, you haven't been here. The company gave us a whole bunch of really lame Christmas music to play, and I lost it one day. And I said, you know what, Sam, we're not playing this stuff anymore. We're going to buck the company, and we're going to play our own. And that started us down this road the last couple of weeks. 5 o'clock hour, I play mine. 6 o'clock hour, Joan plays hers. 7 o'clock hour, Sam plays his. And then I can't really remember what happens in the 8. But, so, here's mine in the 5. Go. Lady A.
We're here tonight, and that's enough.
What's the name of this again? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Paul McCartney tune.
Yeah, but I like Lady A's version.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Shut up, Jay.
You know, Christmas music is so subjective. You know, every year the lists come out of the most hated and most loved Christmas songs, and most of the time, this song is on both lists.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like green bean casserole.
Well, all right. Real quick, Jay, find that list. You find that list. And because I'm actually genuinely curious, what are the hated and what are the faves?
Yeah, usually that Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, it's on both lists.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
That's on I like that song, actually. All right, so real quick, Jay, what do you want for Christmas? Go.
Oh, goodness. Just a nice massage and a nice meal with my wife.
Okay, very good.
We've got enough stuff. We don't exchange gifts anymore because, we're trying to get rid of stuff. We don't need more stuff. So it's about experience.
You know what's so funny about that, Jay? I said that to my wife. I said, wife, we've got too much stuff. We need to start getting rid of stuff. And she said, I'll get rid of you if you get rid of... Anyway, all right, so real quick, Sam, what do you want for Christmas?
More mass deportations.
More mass... Okay, very good. See, you know what? I tried to do a little fluff, and Sam just pulls me right back into the content. I want... So... Big conversation in my house about what I want, because I really don't need anything. I'm just going to be honest. I don't need anything. What do you get the man that has everything? Amy said, well, nothing. And that's why I have nothing under the tree. However, she's actually got a whole bunch of stuff for me. I wanted more of these Scully caps. Now, if you don't know what a Scully cap is, check me out on YouTube. I'm wearing one. So people are making a big deal out of the fact they're like little what do you call them? Newsboy hats from like the 1920s and 30s?
Yeah. So
people are like making fun of me for them, which is fine. It's all well and good. I've been wearing these for years, like years and years and years. I've never worn them when we've had the Super Talk TV. So I decided, because I was a little tired of wearing baseball caps, and I actually find these more comfortable. And also because of the lighting, sometimes an actual baseball cap will darken my face. So, which, could be a good thing, you might say. So anyway, I'm wearing these, and I like them.
Yes, I like those too, Dan. I've got several, and I wear mine quite a bit. And I've noticed you've been wearing those things, and I almost wore one today in your honor, and I elected for the ball cap.
Well, you should have worn it, Jay.
I know.
We could have nerded out together with our Scully caps.
I regret not wearing it. Like I say, I've got 3 or 4 of them.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Yeah, and so the first time I wore one with Amy, she was like, she loved it. And so I, of course, then, started wearing them more. Because at the time, my hot new girlfriend liked my little Scully caps. So there you go. So perhaps I'll be getting more of these. And by the way, if they weren't making fun of me over my Scully cap, Sam, they'd be making fun of me over something else. So I really don't care at this point.
You pulled it off. Like I said, you look like Tiny Tim survived the surgery after Scrooge raised the money for it.
Sure.
And you went on to have a happy life.
Okay, there you go. Well, I'm having a very happy life, as a matter of fact, so thank you very much. All right, it is 5:42 on Super Talk 99.7. Did you see any of Donald Trump as he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors or whatever that is last night? Did you see any of that?
No.
Okay.
No. The Preds won in overtime.
No. All right. So Donald Trump last night, he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors, and I love this for a lot of different reasons. The president got a 30-second standing ovation. Now you know the controversy going on right now with the Kennedy Center, where it is now the Trump Kennedy Center, and so people are. One guy actually said, we joked about this yesterday. Oh, my goodness, it's the end of democracy, right? Because Donald Trump, who puts his name on everything, he does. I don't know why he does it, but he does it. And whatever. This was Donald Trump. Last night, he got a standing ovation from everyone, including Sylvester Stallone, when they introduced him last night as he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Lionel Richie. No, that's not Lionel Richie. I don't know who that was. Some guy with a big cheesy mustache. You know what's so great? Even Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley of KISS were standing, giving him a standing ovation. Now, they are both on record as saying that they don't like Donald Trump. And so they didn't have to stand up and give him a standing ovation, but they did, and I think that that's great. And so, and as far as I know, Donald Trump did a great job of hosting the Kennedy Center honors. Again, it's not something that I would typically watch, so I don't really care all that much. But, good for Donald Trump, and it looks like a good time was had by all. I cannot wait until 9 o'clock. Do you know why?
Because then it's officially Christmas.
And because Joan Jones is going to be hosting for Chris Hand, who we all love Chris, and we all love Joan. But I sent her a great topic that she's going to knock out of the park. There's a podcast that is out there, and Kamala Harris is saying that it is sexist. Hey, do you have Kamala Harris's cackle on the button bar thing there? Kamala Harris is now saying that it is sexist to make fun of the Kamala cackle. Now, I'm not entirely certain why it's sexist to make fun of the Kamala cackle. But if it is sexist, I'll be sexist all day long. Because if they're going to make fun of Donald Trump and his sometimes orange skin, then I think it is okay to make fun of Kamala Harris. And here's the other thing. There's a lot of reasons to make fun of Kamala Harris. Guy on Red Eye last night called up and said that she was brain dead. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if she's brain dead, but the reality is Kamala Harris, I believe, and Sam, you'll understand this. Jay, you'll understand this too. So you can be smart, and I'm putting this in air quotes, right? You can pass the bar and be an attorney, but you can also be dumb as a stump. Like Kamala Harris doesn't have, in my opinion, any common sense. She doesn't know how to relate to people. She doesn't know how to interact with people. She is incredibly awkward. And so I don't know if she's brain dead, but I don't think that she has a lick of common sense. She just doesn't. So somebody asked her about dating advice, and we'll get into the whole cackle thing. I know that
I bet she was like, you need to get tested every 2 to 3 weeks based on her habits.
So I went down the road on Reddit because I saw this at the very last minute, and somebody sent it to me, and I just started riffing on it. But the best part about asking Kamala Harris for dating advice is knowing her history of dating, right? And I don't know if you would recall what she was doing with Willie Brown. in San Francisco. Jay, you know that story? Jay,
oh, yeah.
Jay's awfully quiet.
No.
So the story of, Kamala Harris, I'm air quoting, dating Willie Brown, who was married at the time, and how he hooked her up after the hookups, apparently, with, donors as she launched her political career, becoming the DA there in San Francisco. Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco. He was married, and he started, hooking up with a very young Kamala Harris. So it's kind of funny, though. So she was asked about dating on this podcast. And so this is part of what she said.
The important piece of this, though, for anyone who is single, who wants to be in a relationship, is to be kind to yourself and choose to be with someone who is kind.
So all right. So you want to go down the whole Doug Emhoff history of dating, where he knocked up the nanny, Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, knocked up the nanny and knocked around one of his ex-girlfriends. Remember that, Doug Emhoff? And the accusations against him, which he never really, he didn't deny that. Remember that whole story about how he was, I forget exactly what happened. Remind me what happened there, if you could look that up, where Doug Emhoff, he got jelly over something that was going on, and he knocked around his, a girl that he was seeing at the time. But Kamala Harris says, you know what? Find somebody who is kind.
That's really important. Mm-hmm. Choose to be with someone who allows you to laugh at yourself and them.
Do you think that Kamala Harris cackles when she is laughing in the house there, Jay?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Can you imagine having a tickle fight with Kamala Harris and just hearing that all day long?
No, Wicked Witch of the West.
She would inspire me not to tickle. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have little tickle fights with your loved one, but they laugh like this. You know what? That's okay.
Choose to be with someone who, you like going to the grocery store together, taking a walk together, mm-hmm. including doing something fancy together. And there are different phases in your life, and depending on what phase you're in. Maybe you're going to choose that you want to have that.
I think they're in the phase where they live on different coasts. I think that's the phase. Because remember, he got a job in New York. Doug Emhoff got a job in New York. It's some highfalutin law firm, and she was staying on the West Coast in L.A. Remember that whole thing? Anyway, so Doug Emhoff, remind us of the story of how the oh-so-kind Doug Emhoff knocked around an ex.
Yeah, in late 2024, an anonymous woman identified only as Jane and her friends alleged that second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, slapped her in the face during a 2012 incident at the Cannes Film Festival through a spokesperson. He denied the allegations, calling them untrue, but her account of events was corroborated by her friends. He allegedly turned her around and slapped her so hard that she spun around and was in utter shock, forced his way into the car with her when she attempted to leave without him, and made a tennis reference the next day, implying they were even after she slapped him back.
All right, so there you go. Somebody kind, Doug Emhoff. But I don't think it's sexist to make fun of the cackle, and here's why. Because if you're going to be a politician, then, and I said this on the overnight, if you're going to be a politician, right, then, and you're going to put yourself out there, then it's all up for conversation. If they're going to spend how long talking about how Donald Trump is orange man bad, and he's orange, and he's Nazi, and he's Hitler, and all of these other stupid things, well, then, you know what? I'm not real worried about being called a sexist because I'm making fun of Kamala Harris's cackle. Not going to... Nope.
And that's also implying, Kamala, that all women cackle like that. And I don't know about you, but my wife has an adorable laugh. Mm-hmm. I love to hear it.
It's exactly right.
That's just, as Jay said, that's a Wicked Witch of the West stuff right there.
That's exactly right. All right, it is 5:52. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. WTN 1219. Please, Sam, stop with the laugh. I know. You know what?
I think you could interrogate and get, like national security information out of somebody.
Yes.
Just lock them in a room.
Do you know what the sad thing is?
They'd be begging for the waterboarding.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Worse than waterboarding.
I can't read any of the super texts because they're all just like really nasty, and I just can't. I can't do it. Not on Christmas Eve morning or any morning, as a matter of fact. By the way, people are digging the hat. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. 9577. I like the hat, Dan. Thank you. 5581. Hey, Dan, they're called flat caps or ivy caps. Says, I have a drawer full of these, but now they stick primarily with my Stetsons. Oh, fancy. Fancy
Very
pants.
fancy.
All right, 553, by the way, 4515. 4515 says Hillary could not pass the bar. Hillary passed the bar, didn't she?
Yeah.
Well, she was an attorney. I guess.
In Kentucky?
Kim Kardashian.
Well, but in Kentucky, I'm sure in Kentucky they've lowered the
Yeah.
they've lowered the bar for the bar in Kentucky. I'm totally kidding.
Dan, you do know that Kim Kardashian has been trying to pass the bar, and she's failed it a couple of times.
Can I say this, though? And I've said this before, and I got all kinds of hate. I actually admire Kim Kardashian for trying to better herself.
Yeah.
You folks think that I'm kidding. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
This is a woman, I mean, forget about how she started, with all of her money, but it's kind of akin to Kamala and Willie Brown. But she's got millions and millions of millions, and yet she is trying to. Is she up to billions now?
I'm pretty the family net worth.
Yeah.
I love the fact that she's trying to improve herself. That's actually I admire Kim Kardashian for nothing except for that, because I think that is actually kind of admirable.
Yeah.
You agree?
I still blame O.J. Simpson for their popularity. He never commits a crime. Robert Kardashian never has to defend him. No one knows who the Kardashians are.
Okay, you know what? I don't know, Jay. Where do you stand on that? That's a hot take.
I think there's some truth to that, and also just the whole Bruce Jenner involvement with his ex-wife and all.
Well, yeah. Let's see. If Bruce Jenner never turned into Caitlyn Jenner, then would we even really care about Bruce Jenner anymore? I don't know. Does anybody care about Bruce Jenner? Or Caitlyn, whatever.
Woman of the Year, that 1 year.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, all right, got to go. 5:55 on WTN. Jay's got the news at 6. Jay.
Yes, Dan, we'll have the latest on a fatal Texas plane crash. Also, the Supreme Court handing the Trump administration an unfavorable decision. We'll have those stories coming up at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
.559 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, are you a prayer warriors? Pray for 1579 and his or her family. This came in a few moments ago. Christians at WTN, please pray for my sister, Jo Marie. She has had 2 strokes. It's up to God now. So I will tell you, 1579, I will be praying for your sister, and I hope everyone else does as well. There's another one of our listeners, and I'm not going to say who it is because, and I'm getting personal now. But there is one of our listeners who I'm actually very close to, and I like this person a lot, who is also going through some medical situation, and so some hosts, they choose to keep listeners, an arm's length. I don't do that. I get close to people, and even though some of you folks I have never even met, we converse online and so forth, and I do care about each and every one of you. And so when I hear that you're going through a tough time, I definitely want to say a prayer for those who are listening and are facing a tough time with themselves or with their families. So anyway, prayers all around for folks who may not be having a very Merry Christmas. By the way, this is very exciting. I just found out that one Brian Wilson is going to be in studio to do his Wednesday hit. So he'll be here at 7 o'clock, and looking forward to that. Got a lot more straight ahead. It is Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 1 minute past 6 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A warm Christmas Day forecast as well as a traffic report are upcoming. The body of a 6th victim has been recovered from the wreckage of the twin-engine turboprop plane that crashed off the Texas coast on Monday. ABC's Jim Ryan says 2 others, however, did manage to survive.
We got a survivor inside.
Those who made it out alive have complete strangers to thank.
We started hearing a young woman scream.
Good Samaritans like Todd Donaldson, who was on a boat nearby.
It was the nurse who was kind of tangled up in some floating debris.
The plane, owned by the Mexican Navy, was transporting a burn patient to a Texas hospital when it went down in a thick fog. The wreckage has been pulled from Galveston Bay to be studied by investigators looking for the cause of the crash.
We now turn to D.C., where a legal defeat for the president. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah with details.
The Supreme Court refusing to let his administration deploy National Guard troops to the Chicago area. The temporary order said the president failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Chief Justice John Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, and Brett Kavanaugh sided with the liberal justices on this one. The 6-3 decision could affect lawsuits challenging Trump's troop deployments in other cities.
Back here in Nashville, the owners of Dalt's Restaurant revealed on Monday that they were shutting down. The reason for the decision at the time was unknown. But then 2 brothers from right here in Music City who own Strategic Hospitality, a couple of gentlemen named Ben and Max Goldberg, they announced yesterday that they would be reopening a revamped Dalt's. Here's Channel 4's Tracy Cornett with more.
Dalt's is going to make a comeback after the restaurant announced they were closing their West Nashville location yesterday. Strategic Hospitality is now taking over. They are looking to reimagine the restaurant. That group, the hospitality group, acquired the Dalt's brand and concept from previous owners. They own a bunch of bars downtown, all the main ones, including Garth Brooks and that whole thing. So those owners said that they are closed, or they did close, the Dalt's owners, because they never fully recovered from the pandemic. So the new owners are behind multiple popular restaurants here in our city. No word on when Dalt's will reopen.
Also in Tuesday's press release, Strategic Hospitality announced they had worked out a long-term lease with the property owners. The Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. They're online at beaconcm.com. The stock futures this morning, the Dow down 45, the S&P down 5, and the NASDAQ, it's down 22.5. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. At 6 minutes past 6 a.m., we are continuing to look rather clear on our traffic reports here this morning. No accidents or breakdowns. Looking at traffic cameras, no delays anywhere. The airport, getting in and out of there, at least for the moment, is also not a problem. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.606 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are live. It is Christmas Eve morning. And good morning to you. The Super Text line is open at 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. We do have a lot going on this morning. Brian Wilson is going to be live in studio to do his weekly hit here on a Wednesday. Looking forward to that at 7:06. And yesterday, some really good news. This unfolded right as we were wrapping up the radio show yesterday morning, the morning show capping off what feels like a really good week, couple of weeks, actually, of economic news for the Trump administration. The GDP numbers were released, and they did indeed beat expectations. Need some video. The inflation numbers I think it was the last week, we had some really good inflation numbers that also beat expectations. The GDP numbers as well, looking really good.
GDP, second time around the block, delayed. Third quarter numbers, we're looking for 3.3. Zoom, zoom, zoom. 4.3%. 4.3%. That is a nice jump. And I know many may question Day the Gathering, but on the surface, this would be the strongest quarter going back to the third quarter of 2023 when it was 4.7. This is strong. 3.5 on consumption blows away the 2.7 we were expecting.
Yep.
That would be the best since the last quarter of 24. On the price index, here's some not good.
I liked how he said zoom, zoom, zoom. He was very excited, and he should be. The U.S. economy grew by 4.3% from July to September. That was far better than the 3.2% that was expected. I am noticing a pattern, and that is that it seems like Donald Trump is, and the economy is constantly beating expectations. We've seen that in the last couple of reports. It's also, by the way, a full percentage point better, again, as you heard, than the 3.3% growth seen this time last year. Now, before we get too excited, the numbers can be revised. You know, that's happened before. You know how that goes. But they're saying strong overall growth. Consumer spending is up. Exports are up and imports are down. And corporations, their profits are up. And that means, by the way, oh, those evil corporations. Well, that means that they will hire and they will invest. And that sure beats laying off. I always love the left when they're always screaming about the greedy corporations. You folks have heard me say this before. But the left is always screaming about the greedy corporations. And I'm like, really? Because last time I checked, that's how a lot of Americans are hired in this country. A lot of those corporations help you out with 401k, and they'll match your certain percentage of 401ks. They'll help pay for your medical benefits, the whole thing. So I'm not one of those people that are always going to, be yelling about the corporations. It's like, okay, I'm glad that they're making money, because if the corporations are making money, then so am I. By the way, for folks who don't know, GDP, it stands for Gross Domestic Product. That is the total, I looked this up, that is the total monetary value for all final goods and services produced within a country's borders over a specific time. They say the GDP is the most widely used indicator of a country's health and size. So this was obviously, again, good news. And I do wonder if the experts out there will ever get tired of hearing the words, that Donald Trump has once again beat expectations. This was on CNN.
A new report shows the U.S. economy was much stronger than expected in the third quarter. GDP grew at the fastest rate in 2 years. Americans are also seeing some prices ease at the grocery store.
So they're talking about, and if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you see this. Eggs per dozen down 21.6%. Milk is down 3.4%. Fresh whole chicken down 1.5%. Tomatoes, that is down 10%. Now, coffee, unfortunately, for me, because I drink a lot of it, coffee is up 34.8%, and bacon is up 1.2% as well. So this is why you see some of these things, and some items are up, some items are down. That's what, I'm always saying that. It's like, look, the left will focus on the items that are more expensive and say, oh, look, prices are still up. And the right will focus on items that are down. That is just the way that it goes. But you can't deny that it is good news when inflation, and we got the inflation numbers last week, inflation numbers are down. And you also have now the GDP is on the rise. Now, what does a positive GDP mean for you? Because remember what I always say. I always say that there is the economy and then there is your economy. Because, oftentimes you'll hear the pundits say, oh, the economy is doing great. And then you're sitting there, and I've been through this, and then you're sitting there saying, well, that's great. The economy is doing great, but my economy sucks. Right, Jay?
Yes. Well, I tell you, one thing about my economy I've been enjoying is the price of gasoline.
Oh, price of gasoline is down.
Yeah, I mean, I paid like $2.07 the other day.
We've got a place by my house. They just reopened back up, and last time I saw, they were at like 211, 210, something like that. And so we're at like, I think, a 4 or 5 year low with gasoline. So listen, all of these are wins, and all of these are victories. Because remember that the left have been wishing and hoping and praying for a recession. I've got somewhere in my mountain of audio this morning, Hakeem Jeffries out there saying, oh, yeah, we're going to go into a recession. AOC out there saying, as she's walking up the steps to Capitol Hill, saying that Donald Trump was destroying the economy. Can somebody please tell me where it is happening right now that Donald Trump is destroying the economy? He's not destroying the economy. We've got low gas prices. We've got lower inflation. Yeah, some stuff is still too expensive. Affordability is obviously, still a problem, but we've got a lot of really positive indicators, and we haven't even reached 2026 yet, where a lot of the tax breaks within the big, beautiful bill, they are going to come into play.
Yeah, Dan, but what about those evil tariffs?
Oh,
it's the tariffs.
You know what? Exports are higher, imports are lower. Exports are, and that is an indicator that the tariffs are actually working. Manufacturing is on the rise. I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to be Pollyannish about this. I do realize that there is still work to be done, but these are all really positive signs. Jay, is there anything going on in traffic?
No, Dan, I mean, nobody's on the road to create any problems. We're looking good.
We're the only people out here today.
I was going to say, these traffic reports really inspiring for me to do a good job this morning, Jay. But what does a positive GDP mean for you? It means robust hiring, job creation, investments by companies. I was just talking about that. If we are, and this is what you and I were talking about, Jay, if we are exporting more, that means we are creating and manufacturing more goods to be exported. Fewer imports obviously means that we are working hard to build our own economy and rely less on imports. It also means that, yes, wages will rise. And so I think this is all good. Well, the higher wages and lower unemployment, that means more revenue for the government, of course, as well. Because if more people are working and more people are making higher wages, then that means more tax revenue, a larger tax base for the federal government. So, I mean, I think this is all good news heading into, Christmas tomorrow.
Oh, and you had Stuart McWhorter in here yesterday talking about specifically to the state of Tennessee what we should expect to be rolling out in 2026. It's just we live in an era where people don't have the patience. They want it now.
That's exactly right. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was all over this positive news yesterday. This was on Fox.
The whole world out there in the third quarter, the United Kingdom grew 0.1, the European Union grew 0.4, and Japan fell 0.6%. Fell 0.6%.
In other words, our GDP is better than all of those nations.
Donald Trump's economy grew, the United States of America, the biggest economy in the world, 4.3%. What that means is that Americans overall, all of us, are going to earn 4.3% more money. We're making a raise. It's a simple way to do it. We've got more jobs, lower energy costs, and lower interest rates coming. This is the golden age coming. 4.3% this quarter means Americans on average are making more money in their pocketbooks. That makes for a great Christmas.
There you go. I mean, didn't we talk about this? Black Friday and Cyber Monday, we saw people just buying up a storm, right?
Yeah.
So I think that people are confident. I do believe, and I've said this before, that the people on the left, they desperately, and I mean desperately, want the economy to fail. And here's the thing. When Joe Biden was in office, We weren't rooting for the economy to fail. We wanted gas prices to come down, and we wanted inflation to come down from over 9%. We wanted all of that. We wanted the American people to succeed with a better economy. And so as a conservative, I don't know one person on our side of the aisle that was rooting and wishing and hoping for a terrible economy. We wanted the American people to win, even if it meant a victory for Joe Biden. Biden, though, couldn't get the hell out of his own way. With all of that spending, gas prices way up over, I forget how high gas prices went, but they were really up high. And so now Donald Trump, with the deregulation that he's put forward and all the things that he has done, we are heading into 2026, as I like to say, wind in our sails and full speed ahead.
I think the most broadly spread sentiment during the first month or two of the Biden administration, as we started to see what was rolling down the hill, was, man, $1.89 gas and mean tweets would feel real good right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we said.
That's all. You're right. I'd forgotten about that, but you're right. That is all we said. So, honestly, I don't know. I'm going into 2026. I was a little dour a while ago. The thing about being a talk show host is we are just, from one day to the next, I'm either really happy or really frustrated with the news, whatever it is. I'm feeling good. Like, I really am. I'm feeling good. There's a lot of folks that, they're down on Trump for whatever reason. And yeah, he says some things and he does some things that drive me up the wall. But here's the deal. Right now, things are going good. Yesterday, I had the, what was it? Trump's approval rating is higher than the Democrats in Congress and the Republicans in Congress as well. So that means that when Donald Trump heads off to the campaign trail as we head into the midterm elections, that will be a good thing for the Republicans. 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Boy, there is a lot of people. Did I say something wrong? Because I'm watching the super text line go crazy, and that when the super text line goes nuts, it either means that I've said something really smart, which is rare, or I've shanked something, which, that is usually more on base for me.
Are you telling me people aren't just texting to wish you a Merry Christmas?
No. Well, they might be. I don't know. Anyway, 621. You know what I've got coming up? Maybe, should I save this for Brian Wilson when Brian comes in? We've got the worst takes of the year. And some of your favorite morons are on there. And
Is Chuck Schumer one of those morons?
No, you know what the thing is?
Did you see his approval rating out of every member of Congress? Every member of Congress.
Yes.
Chuck Schumer, the lowest ranked member of Congress. Out of all of them. So what is that? 635 of them?
Well, you know what? That's because he doesn't know how to grill a cheeseburger.
True.
Do you know that's a reference to, Jay?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay.
I remember the video of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I think that Schumer, you think he's going to bother to run for re-election?
Oh, yeah.
Because AOC is going to try to primary him.
Well, and there's rumors she's going to run for president, God help us. But, yeah, I know.
All right, very good. 622, Jay's got the news coming up. Jay.
Yes, sir, Dan. Another batch of Epstein files has been released. We'll get into that. Also, in the wake of a high-profile theft at the Louvre in Paris, new security measures there. We'll have those stories and more coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, I'll go ahead and talk or not. Ba-ba-da-da. 628, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the new year, apparently folks that have defaulted on their student loans could have their wages garnished by the Trump administration. Headline from CNBC, Trump administration to start seizing pay of defaulted student loan borrowers in January. So we're going to do a Daily Dan poll on this. Do you believe that it is fair for these student loan borrowers who have defaulted on those loans to have their wages garnished? Watch us on YouTube. Take the Daily Dan poll. They say it'll be the first time a portion of borrowers' paychecks has been at risk since the beginning of the COVID pandemic when collection activity was halted. I mean, we all know the story, right? You get the loan, you go to school, you take, German philosophy or something, or basket weaving. You get out of college after racking up all of that college debt. And, oh, look, guess what? Now you have no ability to pay back that loan. And now the Trump administration is going to start garnishing those wages. Now, part of the problem that they're going to face is that some of these folks, they don't have a job. I mean, they are not only riddled in college debt, but they either don't have a job or they don't have a job that pays a lot of money. Starting the week of January 7th, the Education Department expects around 1,000 defaulted student loan borrowers to receive notices of administrative wage garnishment. So we'll most certainly be talking about that in the new year. It is 6:30. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, it is 6:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A rather warm holiday forecast coming up, and we'll get you another traffic report. President Trump, he's mentioned by name in the latest batch of Jeffrey Epstein files released by the Justice Department. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
The Department of Justice on the defense after releasing more of the Jeffrey Epstein files early Tuesday morning. DOJ officials saying in a statement that some of the latest documents in this batch contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. The DOJ did not specify which documents it's referring to.
We now go across the Atlantic, the Louvre taking some anti-theft action. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
In Paris, the Louvre is tightening security 2 months after that brazen jewel heist. Workers installed metal bars on the window thieves used to break into the museum and make off with crown jewels worth more than $100 million. All 4 suspects have been arrested and charged, but the jewels are still missing.
Back here in the U.S., an explosion at a nursing home outside Philadelphia. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah with details.
Questions after a deadly blast leveled part of a nursing home near Philadelphia.
It was definitely heard like a dynamite explosion.
Officials say firefighters were investigating reports of a gas leak at Silver Lake Nursing Home when the blast occurred. Emergency crews rushing to the scene, rushing to evacuate the 120 residents and staff as black smoke filled the sky.
That is the latest news, traffic and weather coming up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. We are looking pretty good in the Nashville metro area with respect to traffic. However, down about 20 miles east of Murfreesboro, this would be Coffee County, a car on fire there. That's at mile marker 103. The eastbound right lane is blocked, the right shoulder blocked too. Again, that in Coffee County. Aside from that, everything, again, looking clear in the Nashville metro. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.634, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Isn't this where we're supposed to do Jay's song? We're supposed to do Jay's song here for the whole Christmas thing.
I did pass it on to Sam.
You're right. Guys, I totally dropped the ball on that. I got distracted. There's a legend in the building handing out cookies.
So apparently, Jay, Brian Wilson is already in the building.
Yes.
And they've got cookies, apparently.
Right. He and his lovely bride, Dawn, they did come in and hand me these delicious-looking cookies here.
So I want to make sure everybody knows what's happening. So Jay has cookies, Sam has cookies, and I got nothing. That's all right.
You get coal.
That's what I get. He's going to give me coal. That's exactly what it is.
But you know what? It's actually kind of valuable right now.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. Anyway, so Brian's going to join us here in a little bit. Going to do the Wednesdays with Wilson live in studio, and we have the guest chair in here is a gamer chair. I don't know how that happened. I have no idea what happens around here, but there's a gamer chair over there. I don't know. Has Brian Wilson ever actually sat in a gamer chair?
Oh, you'll have.
Can you go to the two shot? Go to the two shot where.
Yeah. How long is that chair? I've not noticed that before.
It's been a few weeks, and Chris Hand is like all about it, and I'm like, I hate that thing. It's like uncomfortable as all get out. So of course the grumpy old man doesn't want to sit in the gamer chair, so I've got to sit in my own chair. But anyway, so Brian is going to be here in a little bit, and it is my hope that I get some cookies.
Well, Jay picked out an absolute classic.
Okay, let's hear it real quick. Wow. Okay.
All right. Here we go, Dan. Here we go.
Oh, I got to listen.
Window panes and us remain inside.
What in the world?
Candy
canes. What is this?
On the trees. Come on, Dan.
No, how about not come on, Dan.
His way.
How about Sam? Why do we stop this? I can't take it. What is this?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, is this Frank Sinatra?
The Christmas waltz.
And for me.
All right. Well, if Jay would stop singing, I could hear this. Jiminy Crickets.
It's a sing-along, Dan.
Well, I don't know the song. Turn it up. Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it.
The Christmas waltz, Dan. Come on.
Okay, well, very good. Frank Sinatra.
Classic stuff from Old Blue Eyes.
Old is the operative word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's wrong with that? You know, everybody's always all these songs and sentiments about an old-fashioned Christmas. Well, there you go.
I don't want an old-fashioned Christmas. Is that wrong to say?
No.
It would mean you wouldn't be working right now.
To each his own.
What do you mean?
I mean, back in the day, everyone had Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off.
Boy, that's true. I don't know what I'm doing here, to be honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, hey, listen, the Rand Paul's Festivus report is out. Now, everybody knows that the government wastes a whole crap ton of money, right? This is from the New York Post. Rand Paul's annual Festivus report slams the feds for bug buffets, coked up dogs, and $1.6 trillion in taxpayer tab. So Rand Paul in the Festivus report, basically what he does is he points out government waste. And I like Rand Paul. So you want to hear some of these things? Now, I'm going to tell you, I've not read any of this, so I'm discovering this just straight off the top. Among the more eyebrow-raising line items, nearly $2.5 million, Jay Harper, from the National Science Foundation to promote insects as food for humans.
Oh, God, I thought you said incest there for a minute. Like, oh, my God.
No, Jay, this isn't Somalia.
All right.
This isn't Minnesota. Yeah. Bug buffets, they say, on Uncle Sam's dime. Now, why would the National Science Foundation want to promote insects as food for humans? I don't know the answer to that question. Jay, ever eat chocolate-covered whatever?
No. I've never gone down that
chocolate-covered grasshoppers?
No, never.
No, neither one of you?
I did have a lollipop with a scorpion in it one time.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd it taste?
Crunchy.
Crunchy like chicken?
Yep. Protein.
Right. Protein. Yep. Okay.
Little salty. You know, it's like a treat in the middle of all the sugar.
Okay, that's just a little weird, but whatever.
You know, I grew up in South Louisiana. Crawfish, a big thing down there. And
Yeah.
they're called mud bugs, even though they're really
delicious.
Not really bugs, but that's the closest I've come.
How about another one? The Department of Health and Human Services shelled out $1.5 million for what the report dubs TikTok therapy, using celebrity influencers to discourage drug use in Latino communities. Now, this is last year, so this is the Biden administration.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Clearly it didn't work.
Is there a lot of drug use in the Latino community?
Well, the cartels.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. Let's see here. And here's the deal with all these. I'm not going to go on a whole influencer thing today, but is there anyone who has decided not to use drugs because they saw like an influencer say don't do it? Like, I'm thinking back when I was a kid. I remember when I was in Little League, and do you know who, Jay, you would know. Do you remember Steve Yeager from the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So one season when I was in Little League, Steve Yeager came to give a big speech to the kids, right? It was like opening day. And you know what he said? He said, and kids, don't do drugs. And everybody's looking around like, it's just so weird.
We don't know what those are.
Yeah, we were like 10. So then all of a sudden our curiosity is up about drugs. So the last person I'm ever going to, I don't want to get into it.
Well, you know, and Steve Yeager, sadly, I mean, he was notorious for having a drug problem at one point.
Didn't he do cocaine?
I'm sure just about everybody back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, really?
In, the Dodgers organization, it's Los Angeles for crying out loud. So,
I grew up in L.A.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a lot of cocaine around.
Really?
No. It's strange that you do know that, Jay.
Well, for us, it was the DARE program.
DARE.
Oh, I even forget what the acronym is.
I forget the acronym. Yeah,
kids
I forget
off drugs or whatever it was.
DARE. I forget what that stood for.
Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
Yeah.
Yeah, and drugs were skyrocketing.
And then, of course, there was
when that happened.
Nancy Reagan, right, with Just Say No.
Just Say No. Which, you know what? None of these hokey, stupid little things worked. Like they just didn't. Just say no.
I'll say the one thing that was effective, and I vaguely remember the commercials for specifically they were attacking meth. And they had it was some quick horror flick they would shoot. And these kids would smoke meth in the commercial, and then just the craziest stuff would happen. And then they go, meth, not even once.
Do you remember This Is Your Brain on Drugs? Do you remember that? How dumb that was?
Yeah, the egg on the, yeah.
Do you know what's so funny? And this is, I mean, I've talked about this for years. I've never been on any, well, more recently, but the gummies. But I've never been, I've never done, drugs. You know what I mean? Do you know why I didn't use drugs as a kid? It wasn't because of Steve Yeager. It wasn't because of some stupid influencer of the time. It wasn't because of Nancy Reagan or what. It's because my dad told me he'd beat the living crap out of me if I did drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And do you know what's interesting?
Peace through strength.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, that and
not in my house when my parents were married, not by any stretch of there was no peace in that house. Moving right along. But yeah, my dad telling me that he would kick the living crap out of me did really convince me not to use drugs. Now, oddly enough, my brother went the complete opposite way. My brother became a drug addict, and I was like the goody two-shoes in the house, and my brother had to go to rehab. I think years later, I said, "Good job, Dad. You
drove him there.
You convinced me, but I don't know. Somehow my brother didn't get the message. He's doing great now, by the way." Let's see here. 40 million plus went to influencer campaigns urging minority groups to get COVID vaccines years after the lockdowns and the mandates ended. That's so dumb. That is just so dumb. We spend so much money on stupid. And, you know, the people that like will poo-poo the Festivus report every single year, they will they'll like say, "Oh, it's just a small part of our overall budget for America." It doesn't matter. It's the point. We're spending stuff on stupid, and how many veterans could get better health care with that $40 million, right? So don't give me this crap about how it's just a small part of the budget. Let's see. Oh, I've got a good one coming up next. 645 Jay, what's going on here? Whoever's doing the traffic on WTN. As far as your weather for today, fog early, then remaining cloudy and warm with a high of 71. Spotty drizzle as well, a drier Christmas, and a high of 72. I was kind of hoping for a white Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hunter Biden has one somewhere. What? So, speaking of which, booze-soaked ferrets and cocaine dogs.
What?
This is Rand Paul's Festivus report. Animal experiments featured prominently in the report's Hall of Shame. Taxpayers paid more than $1 million for a Veterans Affairs study that forced teenage ferrets to binge drink booze before killing them. Why? See, you know what? If I didn't know I was going to do this, we're a little loosey-goosey today because it is Christmas Eve morning. But I've always wanted to know, what was the end goal? What were they trying to find out by forcing these poor ferrets, these teenage ferrets, to binge drink booze and then kill them? And why would they have to kill them? That's the other thing. Why would they kill them? Why can't they just let them sober up?
Get them a little ferret cup of coffee.
That's exactly right. Somebody get the ferret a Bloody Mary.
Take them to the local Waffle House.
That's exactly right. Let's see here. The NIH also spent $5.2 million forcing dogs to use cocaine, while $13.8 million more went towards controversial beagle experiments tied to previously reported Fauci-era grants, according to the report.
I mean, that just sounds like criminal animal abuse. I mean, if any of us did anything near that, we'd be in jail.
Yes. And I still want to know what they were trying to...
Yeah, what's the end game here?
I mean, they have, I'm pretty sure, someone will fact check me, enhancements in dogfighting charges if you're doping them up with like amphetamines and stuff.
Well, yeah.
It's added on.
I feel like we know all we need to know about alcohol. Let's go back to the drunk ferrets. So what more do we need to know about alcohol that would force us to get a bunch of ferrets drunk and then killing them? I'm not, trust me when I say, I am not a tree hugger. I'm not some sort of, animal-loving vegan. That's not me. I mean, I eat steak every chance I get, but I still don't understand why we do these kinds of things because, to me, I love animals and I do feel sorry for the animals. That's number one. But number two, why are we spending so much money on this?
Yeah. How much does it cost to round up some ferrets and go down to the liquor store and buy a bottle of Tonka vodka?
That's a great point. All right, here, go to Grok. Will you go to Grok, Sam, and type in there why it is that they were getting the teenage ferrets to binge drink booze and then kill them. What were they trying to find out? Because I truly am genuinely curious on some of this stuff.
They could have just studied that raccoon. That did you probably saw
raccoon that got into the liquor store? And
Yeah.
where was that? Was that?
I forget where it was.
It was in Tennessee somewhere, wasn't it?
I forget. Don't recall, but
I don't remember.
drunk raccoon that passed out in the restroom of the place after binging.
How many of us said, "Yeah, we can relate to the raccoon"? I can't. I've never passed out in a bathroom. You, Jay, have you ever gotten so drunk you passed out in it? Okay.
No, not there anyway.
Monkeys with metal head posts screwed into their skulls to keep their heads in place as they were forced to play a Plinko-style video game to the tune of $14.6 million. Is it Plinko? Plinko?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know.
It's where, if I'm pretty sure, like a coin or a flat disc makes its way down the pegs, and you try to get it into a guided spot.
So these monkeys had metal head posts screwed into their skulls to keep their heads in place as they were forced to play a Plinko-style video game. $14.6 million. I don't get it, man.
No kidding.
Like, I don't understand what it is that they're trying to find out. And maybe there's a good reason. Did you find out why they're getting the ferrets drunk?
So, yeah, the Veterans Affairs funded study costing over $1 million exposed these teenage ferrets to a binge drinking pattern of alcohol consumption for up to 90 days, followed by euthanasia, all to examine the brain tissue.
Of a ferret.
Because the method modeled human adolescent binge drinking. Researchers denied the ferrets water 1 day per week while providing alcohol as the only drinking option, forcing high intake on those binge days, and allowed normal access to both water and alcohol on other 6 days. The goal was to study long-term neurodevelopment
By the way,
effects.
somewhere Hunter Biden wanted to volunteer for this program.
No, he was trying to volunteer with the dogs.
And the cocaine.
And the cocaine.
Okay,
yeah.
very good.
So this was to study long-term neurodevelopmental effects of adolescent binge alcohol exposure. Ferrets serve as an animal model because their brains have more folded cortex similar to humans.
So don't we already know what happens? I mean...
Yeah. The earlier on you're exposed to alcohol, the more likely you are to have other problems developmentally and socially.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why we're spending so much money on these redundant and repetitive tests. I mean, I'm not a ferret lover. I mean, I don't care, but I think it's just silly.
I think it's honestly, it's just bored researchers that want something that they look at as fun.
Well, do you know what part of this is? Part of this is, these researchers sometimes in these universities, they get these grants.
Yeah.
And so they
have to spend the money.
And they have to spend the money.
And I think some of that's just payback for a lot of Democratic, Democrat backing institutions.
The State Department forked over $244,000 for a children's climate change cartoon in Pakistan, while another $1.5 million promoted American movies and video games overseas. Well, isn't that that's a private industry thing? Why are we promoting American movies and video games overseas? If there's a movie company, let them fork out the money to promote their movie overseas, not the American taxpayers.
Out of all the things you've listed off, though, that's the only one that would sound reasonable, because then you're boosting your own economy, at least at that point. You're not sacrificing animals for the sake of
you're not
science.
Sacrificing animals, but still, I mean that if Sony Pictures wants to promote their movie in China or whatever it is, let them pay the money for it. And the video games overseas, American-made video games overseas. Do we make a lot of good video games here?
Oh, yeah.
Did we actually do in America?
Actually, one of the developers, most prominent developers recently, passed away in a tragic car accident in California. He was responsible for like Call
of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, Fortnite, there's a lot that we produce that other countries, hop on.
Okay. All right. Very good. I thought for whatever reason, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I thought they're all in I thought Japan was really big in that stuff.
Well, that's Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. They made Pac-Man.
Yeah, but Microsoft
Times have changed since the 80s. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. Brian Wilson is coming up for the Wednesdays with Wilson live in studio. I do want to see, is it weird that I want to see his reaction to the gamer chair here in the studio? I'm curious as to how he's going to react. Don't anybody text him to tell him that I'm can't wait to see. I want to see if he's going to break the chair. Because you remember when, he's lost a lot of weight.
Oh man,
dude, he has lost like an entire Brian.
I know it. He's lost. I was just chatting with him. It's been a while since I've seen him. He says he's lost over 100 pounds in total.
So I think the gamer chair is safe. Got to go. 6:54 WTN. And Jay's got the news coming up at 7. Jay.
Yes, sir, Dan. The holiday travel. Well, if you're headed to certain parts of the country, you may have some trouble getting to your destination. Also, the latest on a fatal Texas plane crash. That's coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Jay. Dan Mandis here, King and Associates Insurance. And if you need to save money on insurance, check out my friends at King and Associates Insurance. A lot of my listeners have reached out and let me know that, yes, they have been able to save and save big with King and Associates. One guy that I know, his 16-year-old daughter got into a car accident. They still saved him thousands of dollars when the time came for new insurance, because at King and Associates Insurance, they know that life indeed does happen. And as independent agents, they can find you the best deal for you and your family. They're going to weed out the non-competitive companies and find the best options for you. And yes, they are going to keep that communication flawless. King and Associates know that it's not only relationships with the best companies around, but also bundling home and auto that is going to save you money, and they are going to fight for you and the best deal possible. Save money, get great insurance with King & Associates Insurance. Telling Dan Mandis Show that to reach out at 615-321-8121. 615-321-8121. Find them online anytime, tkinginsurance.com.
It is 7 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A warm forecast and another traffic report are coming up. The body of a sixth victim has been recovered from the wreckage of the twin-engine turboprop plane that crashed off the Texas coast on Monday. ABC's Jim Ryan says two others, however, did manage to survive.
We got a survivor inside.
Those who made it out alive have complete strangers to thank.
We started hearing a young woman scream.
Good Samaritans like Todd Donaldson, who was on a boat nearby.
It was the nurse who was kind of tangled up in some floating debris.
The plane, owned by the Mexican Navy, was transporting a burn patient to a Texas hospital when it went down in a thick fog. The wreckage has been pulled from Galveston Bay to be studied by investigators looking for the cause of the crash.
The weather in spots today could make some holiday travel a little tricky. Here's ABC's meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Christmas Eve starts out snowy in parts of Maine. That'll wind down during the afternoon hours. Maybe one more swipe of some snow and rain in eastern Massachusetts. Otherwise, the big story is the major flooding across Southern California. We're getting into the brunt of this as we go through the morning into the mid-afternoon. By evening, it's still raining heavily in San Diego, although it's winding down in parts of Los Angeles. We could have over a half foot of rain in higher elevations north of L.A., 2 to 6 feet of snow in parts of the Sierra. Meanwhile, quiet across the rest of the country. In fact, record warm for Christmas across parts of the plains.
We now turn to the market numbers report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. They are online at beaconcm.com. Let's check out this morning's money news with Jim Ryan.
Positive news on the economy helped to push stocks higher on Tuesday. The Dow Jones gained about 80 points to land at 48,422. The S&P and NASDAQ composite each picked up about 0.5% on the day. Shares in Nike rose 2% in pre-market trading after Apple CEO Tim Cook bought nearly $3 million in the sportswear maker stock. Nike this week reported a weaker than expected quarter because of sluggish sales in China. With the Standard & Poor's posting another record high close Tuesday, investors are hoping for a so-called Santa Claus rally. That's what happens when the index scores advances in the final 5 trading days of the current year and the first 2 days of the coming year. 3 days after a widespread power outage left Waymo driverless taxis blocking traffic in San Francisco, the Alphabet-owned company is sending out updates to its fleet of 2,500 vehicles. The cars froze up when Bay Area traffic lights went dark.
Let's take a look at the stock futures this morning. The Dow down 34, the S&P down 1.25. However, the NASDAQ, it's up 1.5. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. Metro traffic continuing to be all clear. No accidents, no breakdowns, no slowdowns in the Nashville area. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.706 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in to a Christmas Eve morning. Brian Wilson is joining us in studio. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dan, and you?
Brian, how many times when you were in the air chair in mornings did you get called an a-hole before 7 o'clock?
Well, it happened almost on a daily basis.
Okay, so good. Fit Jay and Sam 1513 says I'm an a-hole for talking about the animal cruelty stories on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve morning, and it was the Rand Paul Festivus report where he's talking about where our money goes, and apparently we were, for whatever reason, getting ferrets really drunk and then killing them. But I mean, that's our taxpayer dollars at work. That is a legit topic, is it not?
It is, yeah. I don't know. Some people are just sensitive about animals.
Well, I love animals.
I love animals.
That's it. I'm not a tree hugger, and I'm not a vegan by any stretch of the imagination. I like steak. But, I mean, it's a legit topic about where our taxpayer dollars are going.
You can't please everybody, Dan.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Hunter Biden.
What in the world is going on? First of all, Hunter Biden says this can't possibly be a real laptop because, there were many years worth of emails on this laptop.
He said 25 years or something like that.
And he said so that can't even fit that many emails on a laptop. Well, I don't know. I checked my email. I've got emails going back, I don't know, maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
I've got emails, 121,000 emails that I've never even opened.
100? Yeah, most of those are from me, by the way. Yeah. When I was the program director.
But I mean, he's insane.
Well, let's play this audio real quick. I need some video. So this is Hunter Biden talking about how outside forces cobbled together a bunch of stuff to try to take him down.
So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit. What was provided out there, there was no laptop. There is an actual physical laptop that somebody had, but the guy that said he had the laptop, the existence of the search for the laptop came before he was even a twinkle in Rudy Giuliani's eye.
So, number one, he says there was no laptop, and then I timed it 13 seconds later. He says, well, there was a laptop.
Yeah, there was a laptop, and he doesn't remember taking it to the shop because he was coked out.
Yes, he was coked out, and they couldn't get in touch with him because he was coked out.
They kept trying to call him, and the only reason that guy even looked at the laptop was they had a rule that if after 90 days, if you don't come pick up your laptop, then he can sell it. So he was getting ready to sell it, and he looked in to see what was in there and getting ready to clear out all the hard drives. Then he realized what was on it. And it was then that he brought it to the attention of the FBI, and he sent a copy to Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
But here's what he said. I want to ask if you buy this. Listen to this. This is Hunter Biden clearly not wanting to take responsibility or accountability.
And so what they did is they cobbled together stolen, concocted, fabricated, mishmash of digital information, largely which is, thousands and thousands and thousands of emails.
Here it says
from 25 years.
Yeah.
I mean, no laptop could have held all of that. And so what they did is they put it all together, and then they talk about it, and they made it out to be this thing. And so then the story doesn't become about the laptop at all, because there's nothing in the laptop other than a record of me being a degenerate.
Well, there's a lot of records of him being a degenerate, but there's a lot more.
Yeah. Look, he's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to say that all of the stuff that was said. Why is he saying it now? If that was true, why wouldn't you say it when it all came out? Well, there was no laptop. What are you talking about? No, he's trying to say it's fake news, and it's not fake news. It's legitimate news, and it was a legitimate laptop. And he's just trying to rewrite history.
Well, you had the FBI, and the FBI came out with their version of what was on the laptop. Remember, Chuck Grassley, of course, had all of his findings as well, all kinds of shady business dealings, influence peddling, and the whole thing. And so for me, I don't know if he's trying to repair his extremely damaged reputation. But isn't it?
I think it's beyond repair.
The other thing about Hunter Biden is, he said, and I don't have the audio handy, but people have heard me play it, where he called out the open border and the failed pullout of Afghanistan. Two things. And I'm sorry, but I don't necessarily need Hunter Biden to tell me that there were mistakes made during the Joe Biden administration. This is sort of making news, like, oh, look at Hunter Biden and look at what he's doing. He's calling out Joe. It's like, well, you and I, Brian, were calling it out in real time.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, this guy is a bonehead from the day that we first heard about him.
No. He's not a bonehead. He's a cokehead.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a difference.
That's right.
Crackhead.
Crack. I stand corrected.
He's also, by the way.
He is the smartest man I know.
Well, there you go.
There you have it.
That tells you a lot about the Biden administration. He was the smartest man that Joe Biden knew.
Well, but Joe Biden is the bonehead.
No.
So Joe Biden's the bonehead, Hunter's the crackhead, and whatever. All right. So, and there's, I think part of it is he says he's $15 million in debt. He's hawking a book. What does he do now? What does Hunter Biden do now?
I don't know.
And by the way, I love that he's so brave now, throwing his dad under the bus when he could have helped guide his father when the border was wide open. If he was so...
If he's the smartest guy, why wasn't he giving him a real-time advice that would have been helpful?
Yeah.
At the end, when Joe Biden was so weak and so unable to do his job, I was really concerned about the fact that Hunter Biden was like showing up at meetings.
Oh, yeah.
At the White House.
With Jill.
With Jill, yeah. And, who was really running the White House? I think... I don't put much faith in anything that comes out of Hunter Biden's mouth, and I look back at the Biden administration. I say we were extremely lucky to get through that without a major problem.
Now here we are, and the economy does look like it is rebounding.
Dan, I was listening to you earlier talking about it. The numbers that came out yesterday are remarkable. Now they can always be revised, and we you know how that goes, but. I think these numbers feel about right. And to me, when you talk about, that the GDP is up and inflation, well, it's up a little, but it's not runaway inflation. It's 3%, and they like 2%. Okay, it takes a little while to sort of, when you're trying to do the things that Donald Trump is doing to sort of change the nature of our economy, there is a moment where, there's a transition moment. And so inflation might be a little higher than you like, but it's really not runaway.
Well, and the thing is...
And prices are down, except for housing, and he's going to work on that. I think we are poised, Dan, when these tax returns start coming in and everybody starts getting $1,000 or $2,000, refunds and from their taxes because of the tax cuts. And when people like me, I now take Social Security, and I'm not going to have to pay taxes on that. So, when that all starts to happen, there's going to put a lot of money in people's pockets, and I think we're poised for an explosion of in a good way. Our economy is just going to explode and take off, and I think by the middle of next year, which would be well in advance of the midterm elections, people are going to see this economy of ours up on its tippy toes and really doing what it needs to do.
7:15, time to check the roads real quick on WTN. All right, very good. As far as your weather goes, it looks like it's going to be cloudy today, warm, a high of 71, some drizzle as well. But Christmas going to be a high of 72 and dry. All right, so one of the things, and I talked about this earlier, is when we talk about the inflation numbers, is Trump, the numbers that came in better than predicted. We saw the same thing with the GDP. You're smarter than I am about this stuff. Why do they keep underestimating the economy and Donald Trump?
Well, because anything that Donald Trump does, there's a great number of people who are automatically going to reject it, good, bad, or indifferent.
You know what they call that now? Do you know that's a thing? Trump opposition syndrome.
Yeah.
TOS.
I believe it. And you know, and he's used it to his advantage in a brilliant way.
Oh, yeah.
He'll take a position that is a good position, a solid position that is in sync with the American people. And by the way, this man has his finger on the pulse of America. He understands average people. And I don't know how that's possible given the fact that he's a billionaire. But he does seem to understand where people are. Either he's getting good polling or, I don't know, good advice. But one way or the other, he takes a position that's popular with the American people. And then the Democrats, because they so hate Donald Trump, if he's for something, they absolutely automatically almost, you know, it's almost visceral reaction.
Yeah.
They're going to be against
like
it.
Reflexive.
Yeah, reflexive is a good word. It's a great word. And reflexively, they just say, no, we can't be for it. And they find themselves defending these incredibly bad positions. And he's brilliant at using that against them. But
it's like, who do you like more, Donald Trump or an MS-13 gang member?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's crazy.
And the things that they're defending right now are not in sync with where real Americans are. And, you know, I tell you what I'd like to get a copy of. I'd like to get a copy of the after-action report that the Democrats did on the last election.
The autopsy.
Yeah, they basically buried it, and they're not going to let anybody see it. But apparently it was brutal. And it laid out in no uncertain terms that people don't trust Democrats anymore. And even the Democrats who wanted to be supportive feel sort of like Joe Biden really screwed the pooch, if you'll allow me to use that phrase. He really messed up. And I'm telling you, the Democrats are in a bad place right now. Traditionally, in a midterm election, I heard yesterday, it's not unusual for the party out of power to pick up as many as 25 seats in the House.
Yeah, midterms.
Yeah, midterm elections. And if that's true, then, you know, it's a heavy lift to try to turn that around. But given the fact that Democrats are so unpopular right now, I have some hope that maybe it won't be as bad at that.
Well, there was polling that I talked about yesterday. I forget where it was from, and I'm going to have to paraphrase. But Trump is more popular, and his polling isn't great.
Yeah.
But he is more popular than both the Democrats, certainly, and the Republicans in Congress. So he's not doing great. He's got some ways to go in the polling, if you believe the polling. But here's the deal. As you said, with the economy, we have the wind in our sails going into 2026.
And tax cuts.
And tax cuts.
Big, beautiful bill.
I think the Democrats are going to rue the day, and I've said this 1,000 times, when they made affordability the issue. Because I think that probably by summertime?
June,
July, I think that affordability will not be an issue anymore.
I think you're right. I mean, housing is a real issue, but he has promised to sort of bear down on that like a laser beam in the new year. He's got some ideas that he hasn't revealed yet, but if he can get that under control, and by the way, interest rates are still ticking down.
Yeah.
I think when the economy gets stronger, it's hard for them not to lower the interest rates, although, you know, who knows. But if that happens, the affordability thing sort of withers away as an issue, I think.
All right, so let's talk about 5 years ago tomorrow.
5 years ago tomorrow.
It's hard to believe that the Christmas Day bombing was 5 years ago.
When I saw that, I said, wow, I guess it really has been. I'll never forget it, Dan, because you and I were on the air. I mean, we went on the air early that morning. It was Christmas Day. We weren't even scheduled to be on. And we both went on because of this bombing down on 2nd Street. I saw a report. I believe it was Channel 2. I may stand corrected on that, because I'm working from memory here. But I saw a report about all the things that the flags that went up, and that the police department was notified that there was a guy, and we talked about this earlier when it happened, but there was a guy who carried out the bombing. They got a heads up on that from somebody that knew him, and they didn't trust the information. They went to his house.
He was in a trailer building the bomb.
He had an RV behind his house. It was behind a fence, and there were all these cameras around. The police went to talk to the guy. He didn't come to the door, and they went, "Oh, well, we tried." But they got told the man was building a bomb in an RV in his backyard.
And they couldn't even be bothered with getting a warrant and going in and trying to get hold of the guy.
I think, they say, well, we didn't trust the source of the information, I guess is what they're saying. But and the only thing the chief has said is hindsight is 20/20. I get that. But when somebody tells you they're building a bomb in a backyard, you got to run that down. You got to run that down to make sure it either is true or not true. And they just decided, well, knock on the door and that's it. And it never went a step further.
I got to tell you, not to pat ourselves on the back, but that was some pretty good coverage that day.
It may be in my career it's one of the moments that I'm most proud of, because you and I broke news about that bombing that morning that other news organizations didn't catch up on for a couple of days.
Yeah.
We had good sources on that. And we were breaking news every few minutes. And, I don't know how many people were listening on Christmas Day, but I was very proud of our reporting that day and the fact that we basically got the story about the RV, about the music playing and the warnings going on downtown, Petula Clark, all that. We had all of that.
Yeah.
And long before any of the TV stations or the Tennessean had that information.
Do you remember how heartbreaking it was to speak to the owners of Rodizio?
Right.
Where we had done a number of different events.
Right.
And they had just seen their restaurant blown to
to
smithereens.
bits, right.
Yeah. And they came on the air with us. It was heartbreaking, but it was riveting. And you're right. I think that was incredible coverage of a terrible story.
I hope that a lesson was learned here by the Metropolitan Police Department, that when somebody says there's a guy building a bomb, you don't just write that off.
Yeah.
No matter where the information comes from, you've got to find out whether that's true or not.
Yeah. And I don't know how many reports they get of a guy building a bomb, but it can't be that many in Nashville.
I can't imagine. That's something that crosses their desk on a regular basis.
So they're opening up now Second Avenue.
Yeah, it just opened. I'm surprised it took
the day before.
5 years, but that tells you a little bit about how much damage there was down there. I mean, this thing was a heck of a bomb. It really was.
And what I don't know, and maybe you know, but I've been trying to find out. So there's still some stores that are going through sort of insurance issues to be able to open back up. So I guess the street is open, but there's still some stores that are closed and some storefronts that are closed because either there's not a business that have bought into that space or because the businesses that were there can't get the insurance stuff figured out. How is it? 5 years?
I don't know.
I saw that. I couldn't believe it. It was one of the reports.
It's a shame that that's that difficult to get back up and running. Same that it took 5 years to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Nashville is better for it. And so I love the fact that we're going into 2026 with Second Avenue opened up again. All right. Let's see here. What else we got? We got about 3 minutes left.
I want to talk about my experience of going downtown on Lower Broad dressed as Buddy the Elf.
Okay.
Did you come with pictures?
I saw the pictures. There is Brian Wilson with the curly-toed green shoes and everything. It was funny.
Yeah, I mean, the background on this is that it was Dawn's Christmas party, her work party. And so we went down there, and the idea was everybody had to show up as a character from a Christmas movie or a Christmas character. So I was Dawn. I mean, I was Buddy the Elf, and Dawn was Jovi from the movie, who is the love interest in the movie.
Yes.
And so we were walking. People I mean, we had a guy that, I mean, he was dressed up like reindeer. There were people dressed up like a nutcracker. I mean, there were some great Santa Claus, Grinch. The only person who got stopped on the street to have their picture taken was Buddy the Elf.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, people loved that character, and it was hilarious. People, I mean, and I had maple syrup in my costume, you know.
Oh yes.
And I got a box of Pop-Tarts. You know, because that's what Buddy ate.
Sure.
And so when people would stop me and they say, "Can I have my picture taken?" I said, "You want a Pop-Tart?" I give them a Pop-Tart.
Oh, that is so funny.
But you know, people were yelling, "Hey, Buddy! Hey, Buddy!" It was remarkable how nice people were, and I felt like an idiot, but it was a good time.
Were people like, "Hey, aren't you Brian Wilson?"
No, really, honestly.
Thankfully, nobody recognized you.
No, well, most of the people on Lower Broad are not locals.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So they don't know.
That is very true.
I had mentioned I was going to be down here, but nobody said, "Hey, Brian Wilson, love the costume." None of that.
You know what?
These were complete strangers.
If times get tough during the holidays, you can go down to Broadway and charge $2 a picture.
I would say somebody's missing a bet here. Somebody gets a good Buddy costume and goes down on Lower Broad. He can charge for pictures because people will stop to have your picture taken.
All right, real quick, what did you want for Christmas?
World peace.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Mean, you know,
well, you know, you got it with Donald Trump. He's solving wars all across the world.
I got to tell you, I'm the worst person in the world to buy something for Christmas because I don't deny myself things that I want generally.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I want it, I go ahead and get it. But I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't really have a thing on my list.
Okay.
But we brought you some of Dawn's remarkable cookies. These are amazing. People love these cookies that she makes.
Now, they're
a version of a chocolate chip, but not like any chocolate chip you've ever had. There are special secret ingredients, which I'm not allowed to reveal.
Really?
Yeah. But they're good.
Okay, can I just add, Don, am I going to be able to drive home if I have one?
Oh, yeah.
Like these? Okay, they're not like gummies or anything.
No, they're not like magic brownies or anything like that.
Now, Don, if I could get you to make some magic cookies, I'm just totally kidding. All right, very good, Brian.
Merry Christmas, Dan.
Merry
Christmas, Sam.
Merry Christmas, Brian.
And Merry Christmas to Jay's back.
Oh, yeah, Jay. Hey, Jay. Well, I've already said Merry Christmas to Jay.
Yeah, I'm the afterthought. That's cool.
No, I brought him cookies. I brought you cookies,
I know,
too.
and they look delicious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, very good. We'll talk to you in the new year.
All right, man.
All right, 7:27 on Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, for those that have defaulted on their student loans, look out. And a Nashville institution appears to have been saved. We'll have those stories at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
7:27, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. All right, so real quick, Brian is going to be in for Chad, noon to 3. Joan is going to be here 9 to 12. And y'all good? Y'all ready to go? Joan has been very nervous about her big fill-in. You excited?
No, I'm nervous.
Oh, Joan's nervous. Right? It's okay to ask for sympathy phone calls.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'll call you.
Don't call me. I'll be sleeping. All right. Thank you, Joan. So we'll talk to you at 8:35. Yeah. You know how, Sam, I know, Sam, that when you were in high school, you probably had the same experiences that I did when you'd ask for, like, sympathy prom dates and that kind of a thing. So Joan is going to be asking for sympathy phone calls for her.
I didn't have that problem.
Oh, maybe it was just me? All right.
Very good. Dan, it was a year ago, today and tomorrow, that I filled in for you on
okay.
Yeah, and got all of these hateful messages.
Did you really?
Yeah, where's Dan? You suck. Yeah. So, it's because you are so beloved, Dan.
Okay.
That's what it is.
That's why I have all these cookies.
Yeah. And, of course, Paul hasn't asked me to fill in since, so that speaks volumes.
It is. I don't know what to say to that. 7:29 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Dan Mandis here. Whether you are 20, 40, or 60 years old, Vision for Life has the right procedure to help you see clearly without glasses or contacts. So if you're tired of dealing with blurry vision, Dr. Horn at Vision for Life is the name to know in Nashville. Dr. Horn has helped thousands of people finally break free from glasses and contacts, including yours truly. Now, what makes Vision for Life different is that your treatment is tailored just for you. There's no cookie cutter approach, just smart and personalized care using the most advanced technology available. Call them. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-436-2020. 615-436-2020. Go to visionforlife.com, 436-2020. Find them online, visionforlife.com, and start seeing life the way it was meant to be seen. .731 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, Jay, if you think you got hate mail a year ago, I'm getting hate mail now. I've now been called a Richard head. If you know what I mean.
I did see that.
See that?
Yeah.
So
that's just rude.
Well, you know what? We can't do this here. But maybe we'll do it when Joan comes in at 8:35 as to why I'm being called all kinds of names on the Super Text line. Right now, though, I want to tell you about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Right now, a great deal just for you, $12 for a comprehensive exam, x-rays if you need them, a well-explained diagnosis, and that first treatment, $12. So if you've got back and neck pain, sciatica, slipped or bulging spinal discs, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, numbness or weakness in the arms and legs, fingers or toes, they can help you with their state-of-the-art non-surgical spinal decompression. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers, just spinal decompression that can help you. Call them today, 615-246-5009. They helped me, and they can help you as well. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. $12 for that comprehensive exam, x-rays if you need them, that well-explained diagnosis, and that first treatment. Painisbad.com.
It is 7:35. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories, traffic and weather coming up. The Trump administration preparing to garnish the wages of some who have defaulted on their student loans.
Beginning the second week of January, the Trump administration says it will resume garnishing wages from student loan borrowers who are in default. It's the first time borrowers' paychecks have been garnished since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, roughly 1,000 defaulted borrowers will be affected in this first wave, with that number expected to increase throughout the year.
That's Nicole D'Antonio reporting. Back here in Nashville, the owners of Dalt's Restaurant revealed on Monday they were shutting down. The reason at the time was not really announced, but two brothers have come through who own Strategic Hospitality here in town, Benjamin and Max Goldberg. They've announced yesterday they would be reopening a revamped Dalt's. Here's Channel 4's Tracy Cornett.
Dalt's is going to make a comeback after the restaurant announced they were closing their West Nashville location yesterday. Strategic Hospitality is now taking over. They are looking to reimagine the restaurant. That group, the hospitality group, acquired the Dalt's brand and concept from previous owners. They own a bunch of bars downtown, all the main ones, including Garth Brooks and that whole thing. So those owners said that they are closed, or they did close, the Dalt's owners, because they never fully recovered from the pandemic. So the new owners are behind multiple popular restaurants here in our city. No word on when Dalt's will reopen.
And the new owners announcing they have worked out a long-term lease with the property owners. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
All righty, Super Talk 89.7 WTN, and this is the last day where we are choosing our own Christmas songs. I did mine earlier, and Jay did his earlier, and now it is Sam's turn. Sam, go. I like it. Anything with a guitar like this, love it. Is this Joe Strummer or The Clash?
The Ramones.
The Ramones. How? Okay.
Ramones.
Do you know what I love by the Ramones? Have I ever told the story of the Ramones on the air? When I first got here, I wanted the Ramones, I Want to Be Sedated, to be my opening theme song. And the program director at the time wouldn't let me. He deserved to get fired, and I took his job. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And then karma.
No. You're not bitter, Dan. You're not bitter.
No, not at all. Anyway, whatever. So, yeah, and then I could have made it my theme song, but I didn't.
I got to go with Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop?
Yeah, that's going to be my favorite.
All right. By the way, you need to send me approve me on the call thing. Real quick. So Sam and I were talking off the air about Dawn's cookies. No, the actual cookies that she made for us. And do you know what I stupidly did, Jay?
What would
Red Eye Radio?
What would that be, Dan?
I was so tired before Red Eye Radio. And this is a true story. I was so tired before Red Eye Radio. Do you know what I did? I made myself, if my wife is up and listening, she's going to laugh her arse off. I made myself the biggest hot fudge sundae I've probably ever eaten since I was the age of 13. Because I was tired and I needed the sugar rush.
Yeah, I get it.
And I had already had coffee. I had already had a Red Bull. And I needed to get up for the Red Eye Radio show. So I ate this hot fudge sundae. I was so sick.
Ooh.
Like when I turned on the microphone at midnight, I thought I was going to be, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it through the show because I had so much of this. I mean, it was like Red Bull, coffee, and a hot fudge sundae all mixed in together down there in my belly. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it through the show. Like I thought I was going to get sick.
That sounds like you were going to have to call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Oh boy. Anyway, nobody wants to hear that. But you're right. It was really bad, and I was able to make it through the show, and I'm feeling fine now. But oh my Lord! So our little public service announcement from us to you: don't combine hot coffee, Red Bull, and a hot fudge sundae in a 1 hour period, and expect to really be functional.
Good advice.
See, I'm full of good advice, which is why I don't understand why people are calling me a Richard head on the text line.
I mean, content.
We were simply talking about the wasteful spending, Rand Paul and the Festivus report, and we're talking about what the horrible thing that the government is doing to animals, and we were on the animal side. And I don't get why people are mad at me for we were all talking about how awful it was and what they were doing to the animals. I don't understand why people are so mad at me.
I know. Yeah, I
haven't seen this kind of a reaction in a long time, and I don't know why. It's like, people, Merry Christmas. We were sticking up for the animals.
Yeah, there were some saying it was not appropriate content for Christmas Eve. But hey, you were just reporting it was Rand Paul's list of some sort, right?
That is exactly what I was doing.
You're the messenger, Dan. You're just the messenger.
If you'd be mad at anyone, be mad at Anthony Fauci and the Department of Veterans Affairs that are pushing for these experiments in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we were sticking up for the animals. If you're upset, I do apologize, because that certainly, accept the thing, but that certainly was not my intention. All right, Scott Jennings. Speaking of which, Scott Jennings, we all love Scott Jennings. They had a moment on CNN where they were talking about the most overplayed Christmas song, and I'm going to play this real quick. There. All right, I've accepted it. So now you can see it on TV. We had a computer meltdown during the commercial break. So this is Scott Jennings on what he believes, and I have not heard this yet, what he believes is the most overplayed Christmas song. And here it is. Listen.
What is the most overplayed Christmas song for you? played Christmas songs to you cannot overplay Christmas songs.
The vast majority.
Well, the vast majority.
I think we just have to say thank you, President Trump. It's okay to say Merry Christmas again.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for acknowledging it.
Well, we gotta thank President Donald J. Trump for that.
We can thank the President for bringing back
Oh
Merry
my Lord!
But the most overplayed Christmas song is actually this abomination from Paul McCartney called Wonderful
oh my gosh,
Christmas
no,
Time.
Scott. That is a great song.
Whatever. I don't even know what instrument that is. I
Scott,
can sort
that's
of do
actually
it.
a great song.
What wasn't that Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time? That was my choice today.
Exactly. You used the Lady Gaga version. That's what
No, man, the Lady A version. What is wrong with you? I used the Lady A version, not a Lady Gaga version.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I stand corrected. Stand corrected.
Dan's got a separate Lady Gaga playlist.
Anyway, but weren't we talking about how that is one of the, you told me that is one of the most loved and hated.
Right. There are a number of songs on both lists, and that is one of them. Again, the Christmas stuff is so subjective with people.
Oh, it is absolutely subjective.
Rockin' Round the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee, that's usually on both lists of most loved and hated. Step Into Christmas, Elton John, same thing.
Yeah. Well, I typically don't like the older stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't like my Christmas waltz this morning, and hey, that's cool.
You know what the thing is though? And then coming up in mere seconds, the worst takes of 2025. But I tend to like things that other people hate. For example, Jay, you'll probably be able to appreciate this. You know, the song that a lot of these rock and roll people say is one of the worst songs ever, Styx by Mr. Roboto. People hate that song. I love that song. That is one of my all-time favorite songs, Mr. Roboto by Styx. The same thing with Jefferson Starship. We Built This City on rock and roll. Also on the list of worst rock songs ever.
Yes.
That is on my list of my favorites.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I tend to like things that people hate. Which is why I like you so much, Sam. So you want to hear the worst takes of 2025? This is from CNN, and we'll just stop and start this as we go, okay? So listen to this. The worst of 2025. Go.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
It's very clear. Yeah, that was Jimmy Kimmel, of course. We all remember Jimmy Kimmel, where he was talking about, the Republicans and trying to score political points on the death of Charlie Kirk and all of that. And he got canceled for like a couple of days. That really was one of the absolute worst. And you can always go to Jimmy Kimmel to find terrible takes almost every single day. You can also go to The View.
Points from it.
It's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? If the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled.
That's right. So that obviously was, again, a very silly take. The reason why he was taken off the air was because a number of different reasons, and we all talked about this at the time, but what he said was, number one, so abhorrent, but number two, Kimmel's got a lot of problems, and he's back on the air now, and that's all fine, well, and good. But part of the problem is that the show has not been doing well in the ratings, and we covered all of that at the time, so no need to go back. Do you know what was interesting, though, about this? Who do you think, when they're talking about the worst takes of 2025, what name do you think, Sam, would be on that list? That was, by the way, Sonny Hostin, or Hostin, whatever it is, from The View, talking about the dismantling of our Constitution, whatever. But who do you think would be on the list of 2025 worst takes? Joy Reid.
Yeah, I try to forget that woman.
Yeah, somehow Joy Reid is not on the list. Do you know who is on the list, though? Remember this one? This was Matthew Dowd on, was it CNN or MSNBC? I think it was
MSNBC.
MSNBC.
Yeah, or MS Now.
Sure. And he got fired in the hours following the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this. who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Well, that was the awful things that Matthew Dowd said. How bad was it? Even on MSNBC, that was so important that they fired him.
Yeah, which he technically spoke his firing into existence, right? Hateful thoughts, hateful words, hateful actions.
Yeah, no,
coming from the man with an IQ of a pigeon.
Yeah, well, speaking of the IQ of a pigeon, Ellie Mistal is also on MSNBC, and he's this dude. He's pretty big, and he's got white hair, and he is crazed liberal. And listen to how he justifies calling our Constitution basically a pile of crap. Listen to this.
South Africa got over apartheid. Did they just go back to their Afrikaner racist constitution? No, they threw the whole thing out and started again, and they came up with a new constitution. It's one of the reasons why the South African constitution is generally thought of as one of the best constitutions in the world, and ours continues to be a piece of crap.
Wow. He calls our Constitution a piece of crap. Well, then he can go live in South Africa if he so chooses. It is insane. And he, by the way, said that on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne. I don't know if Charlemagne pushed back on that, but come on. And, it is stunning. You told me off the air, Sam, that he's got a law degree from Harvard.
Yeah, his bachelor's and his law degree, and he's written a couple books on the law. Again, to your point you made earlier, just because you pass the bar exam doesn't mean you're intelligent.
Or you have figured out that and this is where some of the influencers are these days, where some of the dumbest things that you say get you the most clicks. And so for some people, they will throw out, their credibility, morality, all of those things simply for clicks. And sadly, I think that some people have fallen into that trap, and it's really, really sad. All right, it is a 7:53 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986. Jay's got the news at 8. Jay.
Yes, sir, Dan. We'll have the latest on a fatal Texas plane crash. Also, if you're looking to travel this holiday season, well, the weather may not be your friend in some parts of the country. We'll have that coming up at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$7:54 on Super Talk 99.7, the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Right now, you can take advantage of the Big Daddy Trump special, $12 for a comprehensive exam, x-rays if you need them, a well-explained diagnosis, and that first treatment, only $12. So listen, if you're like I was when I arrived in Nashville, back or neck pain, sciatica, slipped or bulging spinal discs, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, numbness or weakness in the arms and legs, fingers and toes, they can help you like they helped me with their state-of-the-art non-surgical spinal decompression therapy. No surgery, no spinal injections, and no painkillers. Just, again, non-surgical spinal decompression that is going to help you feel better fast. $12 get you started. Call them at 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com is the website. Painisbad.com. Tell them Dan Landis told you to reach out. 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com. 7:58, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, Jay, let me ask you a question. So is it wrong, like in my house, we've just learned over the years, Amy and I, that it's just easier if she sends me an Amazon gift list and I just start hitting buy. Like that's the easiest thing in my house to do. And I'm wondering, is that wrong as a married guy? I did make the request. Because I'm terrible at buying gifts.
Right. I mean,
so I said, can you just tell me what you want, what you really, really want?
There you go.
And she said, how about if I just make it really easy for you and I'll send you an Amazon gift list or a wish list or whatever it is.
So, I mean, do you still try to surprise her, though? No, you just, okay.
Why would I do that, Jay? Whenever I think for myself as a husband and a man, I fail epically.
Well, she said she loved the cap you're wearing. I mean.
Well, she did. Yeah, she did. She did.
And did you ask her if it was okay for you to wear? I mean, you made that decision, and it worked out.
I don't ask my wife if it's okay how I look when I'm dressed for work. Honey, do I look okay? I'm not going to wake the poor woman up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. However, on date night, do you ever do this, Jay? On date night, do you ask your lovely missus, honey, do I look okay? Do I look acceptable as we go out to this, quasi-fancy restaurant?
No, because we don't go out to any quasi-fancy
Well, that's because you work in radio, Jay.
Correct. Yes, bingo.
All right. It is 8 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A full forecast and a traffic report are coming up. The body of a sixth victim has been recovered from the wreckage of the twin-engine turboprop plane that crashed off the Texas coast earlier this week. ABC's Jim Ryan, though, says two others did manage to survive.
We got a survivor inside.
Those who made it out alive have complete strangers to thank.
We started hearing a young woman scream.
Good Samaritans like Todd Donaldson, who was on a boat nearby.
It was the nurse who was kind of tangled up in some floating debris.
The plane, owned by the Mexican Navy, was transporting a burn patient to a Texas hospital when it went down in a thick fog. The wreckage has been pulled from Galveston Bay to be studied by investigators looking for the cause of the crash.
The weather in spots today could make some holiday travel a little tricky. Here's more from ABC meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Christmas Eve starts out snowy in parts of Maine. That'll wind down during the afternoon hours. Maybe one more swipe of some snow and rain in eastern Massachusetts. Otherwise, the big story is the major flooding across Southern California. We're getting into the brunt of this as we go through the morning into the mid-afternoon. By evening, it's still raining heavily in San Diego, although it's winding down in parts of Los Angeles. We could have over a half foot of rain in higher elevations north of L.A., 2 to 6 feet of snow in parts of the Sierra. Meanwhile, quiet across the rest of the country. In fact, record warm for Christmas across parts of the plains.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the market numbers report. It's brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. They're online at beaconcm.com. This morning's report coming from Jim Ryan.
Positive news on the economy helped to push stocks higher on Tuesday. The Dow Jones gained about 80 points to land at 48,422. The S&P and NASDAQ composite each picked up about 0.5% on the day. Shares in Nike rose 2% in pre-market trading after Apple CEO Tim Cook bought nearly $3 million in the sportswear maker stock. Nike this week reported a weaker than expected quarter because of sluggish sales in China. With the Standard & Poor's posting another record high close Tuesday, investors are hoping for a so-called Santa Claus rally. That's what happens when the index scores advances in the final 5 trading days of the current year and the first 2 days of the coming year. 3 days after a widespread power outage left Waymo driverless taxis blocking traffic in San Francisco, the Alphabet-owned company is sending out updates to its fleet of 2,500 vehicles. The cars froze up when Bay Area traffic lights went dark.
Let's take a look at the stock futures here this morning. The Dow's down 7, the S&P, it's up 1, and the NASDAQ, it's up as well, 12 3/4. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. In the Nashville Metro, our traffic has been nice and clear all morning, and that is still the case. No accidents, no breakdowns, no backups. We're looking good. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, I don't know, Jay, we've got some breaking news. Jay, I don't know if you were reporting on this, but live on CNN right now, apparently Santa has been spotted near Japan.
Oh, wow. He's already, okay.
He's already, it's, Christmas Eve morning here, but, it takes him a while to, get through, all those chimneys and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's where Santa is. He's over Japan right now.
Well, hopefully he'll get here in good shape. All that sake over there. I don't know if is it cookies and milk there as well? Or
No,
is
I think they leave out the sake and the sushi.
Yeah, well, maybe they leave out fortune cookies is what they... Is that racist? Did I just say something racist?
Well,
and that's a Chinese thing.
Oh,
that was created in America.
True.
Whatever. You know what? The fun of this bit just evaporated thanks to you two. Good Lord, man.
Got to make sure no one says you're, being racist. We got to cover the base.
Well, right. Here's the were fortune cookies really in America?
They're an American invention.
Really? You ever have a fortune cookie come true?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yes.
What's that?
It was the person you're sitting across from will give you many years of happiness, and I happened to be at a Chinese buffet with my wife.
Oh, isn't that cute? How about you, Jay? You ever have a fortune cookie turn true?
No, I get those lottery numbers. Never helped me a damn bit,
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be here. That big Powerball, they're drawing again tonight, $1.7 billion.
After taxes in Tennessee, your take home's around $490 million.
Oh, darn.
Are you serious? You're not serious.
I'm dead serious. That's the payout.
No.
If you
take the payoff,
I thought I saw
billion?
I thought I saw
You're
it was
not
like
right.
700 million. That's what I saw.
Yeah, so you're saying it's 1.7 billion and Sam is saying that after taxes and a payoff that's going to be 490 million. I don't think Jay, is that right?
It sounds a little fishy to me.
That sounds a little fishy to me too. Anyway, and now Sam, of course, doesn't want to be wrong, so he's Googling it.
No, he's doing the grok thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grok will do the math.
Well, the three of us work in radio, so if we had done the math when we started our careers,
so definitely a 781 million lump sum cash option. Yeah, that's before taxes. Yeah. It's before taxes.
Okay, whatever. You guys going to play? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a player? All right, very good.
Absolutely.
Jay, you going to play?
I did last Saturday, but I don't know. Probably not.
All right, you know what, guys? I'm just going to be honest with the two of you right now. I'm not feeling it, so I'm going to talk about the Epstein files. If that's what you want me to do on Christmas Eve morning is talking about the Epstein files, I guess I'm just going to have to do it.
Yeah, you're just going to be called a Richard head, but hey, you go right ahead, Dan.
It's okay. It's been happening a lot this morning, and I don't know why. I came into today's show, I was in a great mood, and then by the end of the 7:30 segment, I'm being called a Richard head by some of my favorite people, the listeners, on Christmas Eve morning.
Just to clarify, the estimated take-home lump sum after taxes would be $492 million, about 63% of the cash value. Thank you, I was right.
I will say this about Sam, Jay. One of my favorite personality quirks of Sam is his refusal to be wrong. Did your wife like that about you?
Absolutely not.
I was going to say. Anyway, moving right along. So, yeah, we did have another Epstein files drop. We've had, I think this is like 2 or 3 now, right, that have come down the pike. Lots of Bill Clinton photos. There was one, I guess, yesterday afternoon. Clinton in a hot tub with women. He's got a blonde sitting on his lap. He and Epstein, of course, together wearing those coordinated shirts. In the latest drop, you did have some photos of Donald Trump. They were totally innocent. I believe, and I said this on the overnight show too, there is more evidence, if you will, that Donald Trump is innocent in this whole thing than evidence that he did anything untoward with those young girls. You got flight logs showing Donald Trump was on Epstein's plane, but I think he's admitted that, hasn't he? So I don't know. To me, there's no big deal here. But the latest drop shows that there were apparently, count them, 10 co-conspirators that were identified back in 2019. So this was a big discussion on CNN, and so I want to play some of this for you. Alex Michelson is the host. Here's the thing about these co-conspirators. And I think Joan and I talked about this a while ago. So you have these girls that were, victims of Epstein. And so they would go out and they would recruit more girls into Epstein's lair. And so are those girls that recruited other girls, are they victims or are they co-conspirators? I mean, I think that's a perfectly legitimate question to ask. That's part of what they talked about on CNN. This is a guy by the name of, on CNN, Alex Michelson, and here's part of that conversation with a guy by the name of Jacob Transian, who is a legal analyst with Business Insider.
Jacob, there is going to be public pressure to name those possible co-conspirators. That a lot of people were surprised to hear about this concept of co-conspirators. The DOJ previously said there wasn't enough evidence to charge them. Will this force the DOJ to look at those cases again?
Yeah, so, as your audience knows, the only other person charged in this sex trafficking conspiracy was Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison. We also know that there were some victims who are also recruiters for other women, and their status is a bit more confusing, right? Should they be considered victims? Should they be considered co-conspirators? Are they a bit of both? Can you really charge someone like that with a crime?
Right.
And I think one of the issues here is that email that we saw is heavily redacted. And, are they redacted because these are victims that are redacted, or is it just sort of part of the over-redaction that the DOJ is doing here? They're redacting things that really ought not to be redacted, and we just have no sense of what's going on with this email because we can't really trust the redaction process.
Well, all right, so I think I want to do a quick Daily Dan poll. We're going to call this an instantaneous Daily Dan poll. If one of these co-conspirators, in the spirit of this conversation that we just heard, if one of these co-conspirators is also a victim, should that person be named and charged? Because I think that's kind of a sticky wicket, because if it's a victim and they went out to recruit other girls, which would make them a co-conspirator, well, then do you charge that person who's a victim? I'm a little stuck on that. That's like a sticky wicket. So he does bring up a good point with the Epstein case. There is some interesting moral questions here, and some philosophical and some legal question here. And here's the other thing. If there wasn't, talking about just specifically these 10 co-conspirators, if there wasn't enough evidence to charge them, this is the other part of the question. If there wasn't enough evidence to charge these co-conspirators originally, then why would you name them now and destroy their lives? It's a tough one. Remember, I'm all for getting the information out there, but remember that innocent people could end up being destroyed if they are named. And what if they didn't do anything wrong? So how did you form the question, Sam?
So our previous poll was the fair to garnish wages and seize assets of student loan borrowers. Overwhelmingly 82%, yeah, go ahead and do that. Good. And in this poll, we're going to go, if a co-conspirator is also a victim, should they be named and charged? I gave 3 options, yes, no, but also yes with lesser charges.
Okay.
You might get a, Hunter Biden-like sweetheart deal if you were roped into it, because I think it has a lot to do with when they were pulled into the organized sex ring.
Yep. So we'll see what people say. All right, I've got more on this coming up at 8:15. And by the way, I was talking about fun stuff, and then Sam and Jay were not having any of it. And so I had to go down the stupid Epstein road. So thanks a lot, guys. Jay's got the traffic at 8:15 on WTN. All righty, at 8:60 now. As far as your weather for today, some fog early, then remaining cloudy and warm with a high of 71 with spotty drizzle. On Christmas Day, it's going to be drier and a high of 72. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So coming up, just go to YouTube, take the Daily Dan poll, and here in about 2 minutes, I'm going to ask for an update on what people said on YouTube. So Dave Ehrenberg, and again, this is a conversation that was had on CNN about these 10 co-conspirators that we all found out about here in the last 24 hours regarding the Epstein files. Dave Ehrenberg is the former state attorney for Palm Beach, Florida, and he was also asked about these co-conspirators.
Yeah, and Dave, why were the cases against these co-conspirators not pursued, both here and in Epstein's 2007 Florida case?
That's the big question, Alex. The Department of Justice back earlier this year in July said that they did not have any evidence that could predicate an investigation against alleged co-conspirators. And that's why it came as a surprise to a lot of us when we saw that the DOJ for years have had evidence against co-conspirators. In fact, that email you mentioned 10 potential co-conspirators. They black out the names, but there are 3 individuals whose names are mentioned, and that's Leslie Wexner, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jean-Luc Brunel, who died in a French prison of suicide. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted. So I understand why those 2 names are mentioned. Why was Leslie Wexner's name left unredacted while other names were redacted? Why is Bill Clinton's picture all over the files while others who supposedly were involved with this are redacted? So there are so many questions. It seems political on one end. It seems sloppy on the other. We don't know. So hopefully we'll continue to get some answers.
All right, so there you go. And I'm reading the super text line, and people are trying to figure out, Jay, exactly what a Richard head is. There is no possible way that I can. What is another name? Don't do it, Sam.
Oh, goodness.
What?
What is another name for Richard, though?
Well, probably you could say the oldest and most famous Richard, who just turned 100, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking,
that?
Sam.
Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Right.
There you go. So if I'm called the Richard head, just think that Richard is another name for Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, or the comedian that overdosed recently, Andy. It's
his name, man. You go right on ahead.
Andy Dick.
See, this got really uncomfortable. See, now I've got to go back to Epstein. Man, is it 9 o'clock yet? Joan Jones is coming up after the news at 9, and I'm having to very gently explain to some of our listeners on the super text line exactly what a Richard head is. So you're welcome. You learned something this morning from Nashville's Morning News. All right, real quickly, and by the way, people have some great comments about the co-conspirators. 5143 says, what if they were blackmailed or coerced? AJ says, ages matter. It's absolutely right. And 3159 says there's a few Richards that are listening to the show this morning.
Well, to that question, though, there are some legal protections and defenses available for individuals who are victims of coercion, abuse, or trafficking, but end up participating in the criminal activities.
They could be
under duress or coercion defense, human
coercion.
Trafficking victim protections, battered person syndrome.
Yeah. I've got that after 35 years in radio. Totally kidding.
That's
I'm
you're
totally
say
kidding.
after 5 years of marriage.
No. You know, I could say that, but then I'd get battered at home.
Show me where she beat you, Dan.
820, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7, WTN 2683. Richard Noggin. Wankerhead says 48.99.
Ah, a British word.
Yes, you wanker. All right. Anyway, it is 8:21, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. So is Joan going to join us at 8:35? Do we know? I think she is.
She's been roaming.
Oh, she been roaming?
Yeah, she's been in this little room next to me, and I can see her shaking from here.
Oh, she's going to be fine.
I know it.
She's going to be fine. Jones, remember. Okay, listen, people, like from me to you, because I know the radio doesn't work in there because it is Cumulus. If Joan asks for calls, call her. Joan is wonderful, and she's nervous because she's hosting, and she's going to be great. I've told her she's going to be fine, but if she asks for calls, just call her and be nice to her. Because Sam, I think you and I have both realized that of the three of us, Joan is clearly the favorite.
Yeah,
you're second, and I'm last, and that's fine.
She's the purest among us. Like of heart and soul.
No, I get it. I get it. I'm trying to think about what I want to say to that, and I think probably I want to say nothing to that because it's clearly true. All right, Jay has the news coming up at 8:30. Jay, what you got?
Yes, sir, Dan. The latest unemployment numbers have been released. Where do you think they come out? We'll tell you about it, and we'll have more on the explosion of a nursing home in suburban Philly. That's coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$822, what do you get the person that has everything? What about the gift of self-improvement with my friends at Contours? Now, check this out. Right now, they're offering both their Tennessee Famous Belly Buster Special and a facial to battle those fine lines, both for just $150. That, my friends, is a huge savings. Now, both their Belly Buster Special and their facial treatments, they are both powered by cutting-edge and effective red light technology. Now, this red light therapy can help you lose inches across the middle and help you lose those fine lines on your face as well. And right now, yes, indeed, you can get both for just $150, a belly buster treatment and a facial. A great deal, just $150 if you are one of the first 10 callers right now. 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960. You can get that special price of just $150. As always, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. 615-236-9960 if you'd like to find out more about Contours and red light technology. Find them online anytime, ContoursLLC.com. That is ContoursLLC.com. 828, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan has made her way into the studio. Joan, people are saying that you can do no wrong. We'll see how that, we'll see how people feel after your show, 9 to 12. Because, you know.
Because you'll be judging me on my show.
Oh, I'm not going to be judging you.
Right, the listeners will.
I would never judge you, Joan.
Right.
Not ever.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be fantastic.
It's nerve-wracking, but I mean, I think that there's, my goodness, plenty of material, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, the kindest audience in the world that if I did, Dan Mandis, ask them to call in, they would call. Because I heard, so yes, we work for Cumulus, but there is a horribly small transistor radio from 1950 in the break room.
Is that
there.
hanger still attached to it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, little rabbit ears. And so, yeah, I did hear that.
Oh, you did hear that? Oh, you heard me talking about sympathy calls for
Yes.
Joan?
Do the sympathy call thing. Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you could hear that. All right, very good. Well, you're going to do fine. And we're gonna visit with Joan coming up next.
Yep.
And we're all talking about Brian Wilson, Dawn's cookies.
Yeah. So I decided that I was going to take those cookies and put some like Velcro on them and attach them to each of my thighs because that's how it would look if I ate these cookies.
Okay.
They're big.
They're like, I could do curls with this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I wanted to build my biceps.
Sam pointed out the thing that may harm me the most. There's sea salt on top of them. I know.
Is there really?
Yeah.
You just know that is going to be such a balanced and decadent cookie.
Shut up, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
So you know where that has to travel?
In
the trunk of my car while I'm driving.
Yes.
Otherwise, I will make the effort to reach around and grab them, even if they're out of reach while I'm driving.
All right. Well, I am going to try one during the break because I'm a sucker for sea salt. So
see that.
Yeah. All right. Jay's got the news right now on WTN.
It's 8:30. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A traffic and a weather report are coming up. Well, fewer Americans standing in the unemployment line last week. We've got more now from ABC's Jim Ryan.
Employment analysts were anticipating a slight rise in jobless filings, but in the week ending December 20th, the figure fell by 10,000 to 214,000 claims. In all, about 1.9 million Americans are receiving state unemployment benefits. That's actually an increase from the week before.
Investigators in Bristol, Pennsylvania say the explosion caused by a gas leak at a nursing home killed 2 people and injured 20 others. Rescuers pulled victims from windows, stairwells, and elevators at the Silver Lake Nursing Home in Bucks County. ABC's Catherine Scott is with WPVI in the market and is on the scene.
Those in the area feeling the blast.
So I thought the airplane or something fell on my house. I heard loud kaboom.
The fire burning into the night. Neighbors left in shock.
I'm hurt. I feel like they are my family. It sucks. And it's right near Christmas time, too.
We now move to the West Coast in Southern California. Torrential rain taking aim and causing potentially life-threatening flash flooding, especially in areas those wildfires devastated earlier this year. Here's Melissa Adan. She is in Malibu.
Life-threatening conditions possible with up to 9 inches of rain expected, adding to concerns from fire-ravaged neighborhoods. The heavy rains could trigger devastating mudslides.
The Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. They are online at beaconcm.com. Let's take a look at the stock numbers. The Dow, it's up 61. The S&P, it's up 1.5. The NASDAQ, however, down 15. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. They're next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
.32 Nashville's Morning News on WTN. Dan Mandis here for my friends at DT McCall's. This is a great Tennessee company. They are here for their fellow Tennesseans with great prices, terrific selection, and outstanding value. Now, I was a customer before I was an endorser at DT McCall's. I've been telling about these folks for years. They've been helping people out for, count them, 4 generations. And if you need it, they've got it at DT McCall's. Indoor furniture. If you've got a room to fill, go to DT McCall's. If you need an appliance, if it plugs in, they've got it. And they've always got specials going on to save you money. Just go to the front page of their website, dtmccalls.com. If you need something, they've always got great prices and specials on all of the best brands of appliances, like washer and dryer sets, dishwashers, and a whole lot more. They've been at it for over 100 years with a focus on customer service. And if you buy it, they will deliver it for free and haul away the old stuff. You got 5 locations all across Middle Tennessee: Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin. Always online, dtmccalls.com.
Oh, if traffic could be like this every morning, no accidents, no breakdowns, no slowdowns on area roadways. I'm Jay Harper. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.836 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, this is the last time I have to say that here during the Christmas season, we have been bucking the company.
Oof.
And there, I know.
You made
I
it all
know.
the way through.
I know, I did without
Yeah.
destroying my career. Bucking the company and their choice of Christmas music. We have been playing ours. And Joan, this is the last time this bit got way too long for me. I'm just telling you. But
People love it, though, because they've been texting in their favorites. And this is how I got today's favorite. Somebody texted this to me, and I said, you know what? This is an awesome song.
Okay, so who? First of all, do you remember who it was that gave it to you?
I don't, but they'll remember.
Wow, what a ripper-offer you are.
Yeah, I am. That's why I just did a generic nod to that person.
Very good. So what is the song?
Go ahead, Sam, play it. Everybody will know it. I think.
Don't. I clearly don't.
Oh, you already don't know this?
Oh, yeah. It's from the best little house in Texas.
There you go. Yes, it is.
You went whorehouse for Christmas morning?
I certainly did.
Wow.
Who
That's
is
Dolly.
this?
That's
It's
Dolly Parton.
Yep,
yes.
from the motion picture.
Shut up, Jay. I'm listening to Dolly. All right, I like it.
So eventually it gets to the chorus, and the chorus is, it's Hard Candy Christmas.
Well, you want to fast
That's
forward
the
to
name
the
of the
chorus real
song.
quick there, Sam?
I think you went too far.
You went too far, man.
You're always going too far.
Here we go. Dolly can do no wrong.
Clearly. Nope.
Did you hear her rock album?
No.
You didn't hear Dolly Parton's
No,
rock
I did
album
not.
where she did all of these?
Here we go. So the story behind the song is that it's going through hardship, not necessarily Christmas, but this is going through hardship, which is just like hard candy Christmas. Candy, like peppermint sticks, are hard, but they're sweet. And so going through these times, this is how she explained it, is difficult, but it's a sweet part of your life because you grow from it. So it's really not a Christmas song, but I was thinking that this is Dolly's hard candy Christmas. She's the first Christmas without her husband.
Yeah.
So, this is her hard candy Christmas. And so I was thinking of her.
All right. Very good.
Did I just make everyone cry? Sam, you crying? Is that why you're silent? You too,
No.
Jay?
No, not at all.
Just taking in the moment.
No,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. We're taking in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the Broadway show of that play. The play was better than the movie, but man, in country radio, we wore that out back in about 1983, 84 when it came out.
How old are you?
Yeah.
Old as dirt.
Yes, pretty much. I'm the oldest one among you. So, yeah.
Really? How old are you, Jay?
I turned 65 about a month ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't look it.
See, you don't look 65.
No,
you
you
look
don't.
like 70.
Yeah, I know.
A
Well,
baby
it's that
face man.
it's the radio, Dan. So your time's coming.
No.
You're going to look young someday, too?
I turned 58 day after tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah, I knew you were a close to Christmas baby.
That's right. Me and Kennedy. Remember yesterday we
Yeah,
had
yeah.
Kennedy in here?
Wow.
That was so much fun. Kennedy in here with Dad Chris.
She is just the best.
She is the best. You know, every time she's in here, by the way, she like zings me. Have you noticed? She's been in here, I can't tell you how many times now. Every time she manages to zing me, and I walk right into it.
Yeah.
And she's very cool.
She's going to be quite the zinger when she's a little older. Whoa.
I know. What are you saying? Are you saying she's going to be good looking?
No, I'm saying
Oh, okay.
she's going to zing everybody when she's older. Like
yeah.
she's sharpening her teeth on you.
I want to see Kennedy. No, I want to see Chris when Kennedy starts trying to date.
Yeah, she's going to be
I
sassy.
feel like in that household, she'll be self-sufficient in that regard.
You think Chris will be on the front lawn cleaning his gun?
No,
That's a song
think she
reference.
will.
See, Jay gets the reference,
Oh,
don't you,
I
Jay?
do. Yeah.
All it'll take is a couple daddy-daughter shoots at the Glock store.
Yeah.
There you go. How old were you, Sam, when you started shooting?
12.
Were you about 12?
Yeah.
Riker's 12. Amy and I were talking about it the other day.
I think it's time.
Riker's 12, and
I lucked out. We went to Trout Lodge, which used to be a YMCA like family camp in Missouri, one summer, and they had a bolt-action rifle course, and you kind of got walked through how to use a 22 bolt action and ins and outs and how to aim down the sights and downrange and everything. So I was fortunate in that regard, but
That's
it's like the appropriate age just to get introduced. Yeah.
Well, I started shooting at about 7 or 8 years old.
did you really?
Yeah. South Texas.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
we raised bird dogs, so I mean, it was shotguns, but still.
In South Texas, people come out of their womb with a Glock. Instead of a pacifier, they give you a Glock. 4682 says, see, this is why I don't like to joke. 4682 says, Dan, I love you, but you're so rude today. I'm disappointed.
It's the most pleasant he's been all year.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Must not be a regular listener.
We are so, Joan, we are all so jovial around here. We have fun with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I said that, Jay looks so, I was just kidding with Jay when I said.
And I get that.
Yeah,
I mean, we're all having fun.
Do
Come
you
on.
people have, there I go with you people. Do you people have any idea how often I am the butt of the jokes on the air and off?
Yes.
Jane, you know how often that happens?
Yes.
Dan,
yes,
you're-
Jane is quite aware.
Yeah, Dan,
All
you're
the
such
time.
you're such a good sport. I mean,
I
come
am
on.
a good sport.
I know, and none of us take ourselves all that seriously. So the
Well,
listeners,
some of us do, but certainly not me.
listeners shouldn't either.
That's exactly right. By the way, this guy says Larry says I started shooting at 6 with a BB gun.
Oh,
Then-
well, if we're talking BB guns.
Then with a 22 at 9.
Yeah.
So there you go.
22 is a good introductory caliber. Not a lot of kick. It's loud. It awakens the senses to what it would be like to handle something more lethal.
Yeah, so you have to start slow.
Yeah.
You start with a water gun, then a BB gun.
What about a Nerf gun? I've enjoyed
Nerf guns,
Nerf guns.
water
Oh my
guns.
gosh, we had Nerf when Riker was little, man. We all had the Nerf guns. There's one is after Christmas actually, and Amy had hers, I had mine, and Riker had his, and we were just the dog was like running for cover and peeing on the carpet.
My cousin had one of those automatic ones.
Yes.
He would just unload the whole clip into me.
When I worked at the Wall Street Journal radio network, you would go into a booth to actually do your report.
Yeah.
And you'd be in a booth and somebody in the newsroom would open the door, fire upon you while you're on the air, and the door would close and they'd walk away. And you couldn't make like anything ever happen to you at that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were, on the network. We had a lot of fun with those.
Yeah, you ever have it, Jay? You've been in radio a long time. You ever have somebody try and mess you up while you're on the air?
Oh, absolutely. If I could be a bit risque, we had a sales lady that liked to, let's say, lift up her shirt and press her, her upper half against the glass of the studio.
Her shoulders?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. A little lower.
Little lower, okay.
Yeah,
When she was lifting, did she have anything underneath?
No.
Oh.
Does she give any verbal warning or declaration?
No. And the thing about it
That's
is,
assault, brother.
And she's passed away, but her name was Linda Biggers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they were
At least her name wasn't Linda
yeah,
Smallers.
she was appropriately named. Yes. But
can I just ask though, like, what year was that? Because
gosh.
how does anybody get away with that in
I
the
know.
workplace?
Oh, but yeah, absolutely. No, this was about 1982.
Sam, don't ever do that to me.
You don't want to see that. No.
You don't want to see his shoulders.
No, I
No.
No.
He actually showed me a shoulder yesterday.
I did. I pulled down my sleeve.
I got a good look.
Oh, you sexy beast.
Do I even want to know?
Well, I was showing
Who
off.
was that? You sexy beast. Was that
SJ?
Lord, Jay, that was good. I mean, disturbingly good.
Ooh, you like that, eh? Mm.
Well,
Less
I
and
was
less.
I was
Yeah.
showing off a tattoo.
The tattoo.
A
Okay,
tattoo.
good. Which one? Because I know he's got some impressive tattoos.
Yeah, he does.
The one on my shoulder of a surfer wave.
The plane. Oh, not that tattoo.
Not that.
Okay, not that tattoo.
He's also got the Nashville skyline on his forearm. I
Yeah.
guess it is, right? Or is it no?
Yeah.
Is it his leg?
Yeah, it's my forearm.
Farm.
Yeah, his forearm. Okay, very good.
I don't understand people that get their legs tattooed. That's painful.
How about feet? My niece has a verse that goes from one foot across to the other.
Anything
And I
on the
think that's
feet or
painful.
hands is going to be way more because you're striking the nerve more directly. You don't often think the needle's moving super fast, but it's poking you repeatedly. Thousands of pokes.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Okay.
No. My daughter and I keep telling ourselves we're going to get a daddy-daughter tattoo. Have not yet done it.
My daughter and I always say we're going to get one too.
Yeah.
Sounds like a New Year's resolution, Dan.
Well, I've been talking about it for so long, and I just haven't done it yet. I got bored with the conversation.
Have you picked something out? Do you have an idea?
We've spoken about a lot of things like thumbprints made into a heart kind of a thing.
Oh,
that
that's
kind of daddy-daughter stuff.
That'll hurt a lot, by the way.
My daughter is covered with tattoos, and she's actually has some on her torso, like on her ribs.
Oh, God.
And I tell her, it's like, my God, that's had to have been painful.
So when it hits the bone,
when
it hits the bone, you feel it throughout your whole body in that area. It just vibrates down the whole.
Do they offer the option to put you to sleep while they're doing this?
The only time I've seen that is when it's like a full back piece. It's going to take hours and hours and hours. Because one of the things that happened when I got my shoulder done is you kind of go through a bit of shock with the amount of pain you're in, and your body starts absorbing all the water you have, and you get a little dry mouth. A lot of people pass out, especially if it hits the bone for a hot minute.
I'd be the guy that passes out. Where is the least painful place to get a tattoo?
It's going to vary person to person. I'd personally say the shoulder.
The shoulder?
Yeah, as long as as he was finishing the top, he definitely got me right up on the bone. But other than that, it was very tolerable.
You have no tattoos, Joan?
I do not have tattoos, no.
Oh.
No. My daughter and I were going to get...
there was a little judgmental in your tone. No. Did you guys pick up on that?
You told me mine was cool.
I do. I think it is cool. For me, I don't see myself getting one, except my daughter and I want to get a heart that's in half so that we would have the other half of each other.
That's what me and my daughter want to do.
Yeah. We have necklaces.
Do you know what? Okay, so since we're doing this, I also have a couple of cards from both my parents who are now gone, and they both say some version of "I love you," whatever it is. And I saw a Starbucks barista, call me coffee, I know, who had on her forearm her grandmother's writing that said something or another, nice message, lifted from a card.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can actually do that where you can lift it from a greetings card. They can take a picture or somehow.
They stencil it.
Yeah, and they can put it on the and believe it or not, my mother and my father had oddly enough, very distinctive handwriting because they come from a previous generation where people actually wrote
in cursive.
Yes, exactly. So I was also thinking about doing that.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, I probably maybe on a forearm or something. I don't know, but I do want to do it eventually. And my daughter's been bugging me, so Dad, when are we going to get the tattoos? It's like over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up, I'm going to write you out of the will.
Big will.
Devolved into talking about guns and tattoos.
Yeah, this day can't get, let's see, 7679 says tattoos are sins. I don't think tattoos are sinful, are they, Joan?
I mean, the Bible does say you shouldn't scar your body permanently with ink.
Oh, well, that's pretty specific.
But
there must be a loophole somewhere in the Bible.
I mean, we are going to be given new bodies. So,
At some point.
I'd like a new one right about now, to be honest with you.
But it also, there's studies coming out that actually tattoos are help you grow your immune response.
And there are those studies that say it introduces carcinogens into your lymph
I was going to
system.
say, Sam, that
Those are the cheap
study
places.
was funded by the National Tattoo Foundation.
Oh, yes, because Big Tattoo is making billions of dollars a year. Only in Panama City Beach on the spring breakers.
Let's see here. What a crap show today, says Mike. Thank you, Mike. You know what? It's going to get better after 9 because Joan Jones is going to be on. And
No
then
pressure,
Brian
Joan.
Wilson is on noon to 3. Somebody from Charleston, Massachusetts says, Dan, use area codes for text line messages. Show the widespread listening area. The audience you have, 617 is Boston, Massachusetts. I know. Texting in from the
Boston,
617.
Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel.
That's exactly right.
You're welcome.
I don't think it's been a crap show today. Has it been a crap show today? I don't think it's been.
You've done some serious topics. You've had some fun. It's Christmas Eve, people. Leave Dan alone.
I know. I told you the story. You didn't hear my story on the air, but right before I went on Red Eye Radio last night, I had a big old Mondo hot fudge sundae because I felt like I needed the sugar rush. I was basically sick for the entire 3 hours of Red Eye.
What were you thinking?
He wasn't.
I wasn't.
You weren't.
I needed a sugar. I was so tired. I had Red Bull, coffee, and then a hot fudge sundae. I can't imagine why I got sick.
Red Bull and a hot fudge sundae.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they just don't.
They did not mix. I can personally attest to that. All right, Joan, what is coming up after the news at 9?
All right. So.
And remember, is it wrong that I'm telling people to give you sympathy calls?
No. No, okay. I would love sympathy calls. That would help me out a lot, actually.
Listen, so do you think if I notice that you're struggling for calls,
that I'm flailing, yes,
I'm going to call in.
Yeah, I like it.
Hi, Joan. I love your show. Anyway, what do you got?
So Kamala Harris is out today with she has a new podcast that she was featured on. She says if you don't like her cackle, it's because you are a sexist pig. That one, yes.
What about her cankles?
She doesn't have them yet, I don't think.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Also, I heard you talking about this earlier, but I just feel the need to go back and reference this one. Senator Rand Paul's Festivus list.
Yes.
Including the promotion of bugs for human consumption.
Yep.
That's going to happen. The effort to encourage TikTok therapy.
Yes.
And experiments on animals involving drugs and alcohol. I mean, it's just
now. Can you help me?
disgusting waste.
You heard me talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Why did I get so much hate for talking about that?
You got hate for talking about it?
I did.
Oh, it got lambasted.
Yeah, people are saying for some reason because it's Christmas Eve morning, they didn't want to hear about ferrets being forced to drink before killing them. I don't know why that just touched a lot of nerves.
Well, I'll be touching a lot of nerves later
That's okay.
Also, Tim Walz is an idiot, and we're so lucky that he was not our vice president.
Can you
I
imagine?
have so much about the city of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota and the dumpster fire that it is. I did a little deep dive into it, and maybe it's too much for a Christmas Eve day, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Failing grades for Gavin Newsom from his own state auditor. Did you hear about that?
I do have a little bit of Gavin.
Okay. It is really bad. So and I'll leave it up here for you.
Thank you, yeah.
So, but just to give you a little hint, the state auditor has found such massive fraud and corruption in California that it pales in comparison to Minnesota. Of course, California is a lot bigger. So,
yeah.
But I mean, it's always Democrats, though. That's the thing.
And it's always Democrat-led states.
It's exactly right.
They not only allow it, but I feel like it's promoted.
Well, it certainly was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Walz completely looking the other way. Just simply allowing the Somalians to rip off the state of Minnesota and is it Minnesotans?
Minnesotans,
Whatever
they always
are.
say that.
Whatever they are, there should be plenty mad at Tim Walz.
There is another state that it's like Tim Walz and his promotion of the Somalis in his state has opened up this, I love this word, has opened up a portal for everyone else to be bragging about the number of people within their city limits or state limits that are Somalis.
Yeah, Michelle Wu in Boston was talking about how proud they are to have such a rich Somali population in Boston.
Okay.
In New Jersey, and I'll do this one later on too, in New Jersey, they're proud of their Palestinians.
Okay. Well, all that and a whole lot more. Jay, Merry Christmas. Sam, Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
and
you too, Dave.
Joan, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Am I done? Am I working on the 26th? I don't even know if I'm here on the 26th.
No, we're not.
We're not here on the 26th.
I'm not going to be back on WTN until after the first of the year. I am on Red Eye Radio next week.
Okay.
So I guess I will be on WTN, just on the network. Anyway, so Merry Christmas to everybody.
Birthday to you.
Thank you. I'll sound a lot older when I'm 58. Maybe my voice will finally change. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is spreading holiday cheer with amazing deals and community giving. It is all about saving you money, and let's be honest, not a lot of companies are doing that these days, but Busy Bee is. One example, called Busy Bee, upgrade your water heater and get a free 10-year parts warranty. If you've got a clogged main line, take advantage of Busy Bee's 93 or free offer. If they can't get your drains flowing, you pay nothing. They've got great deals from a fantastic HVAC company, one of Tennessee's best, Busy Bee HVAC. Call them, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833. Find them online anytime at busybehvac.com.